I don't want to be right.
What would Socrates say to that?
It tickles my fancy.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not.
Wait.
Yeah.
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you. They don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay. Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still in the sauce with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof, I'm a lie about a motive. No proof. Like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, and if I did, I never ever traded him. You know what? What is a star? Like under the city, the driver's side floor. Gucci get large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. Hey, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever, and cute as can be. You can watch it on YouTube with view for free. Hey, this one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time wondering what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Morning, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Happy Friday. It's a Vice Shirt Friday. Leroy.
What's up?
How are you, buddy?
I'm all right. Watch some excellent Panthers hockey. Almost got our little chili pepper.
Oh, dude, we were
So close.
Evan Rodriguez was this. We almost covered it in the second period. We
I know.
almost covered it in the second, dude. Evan Rodriguez was a whisker away from that case. Unfortunately, close does not count. So, but it was fun. Mackie Samoskevich, dude. What a run this rookie is on. Hey,
Holy
we'll take a little credit, a little pat on the back.
Hey, he's fast. Oh,
He's he is fast, and it was
and you
very
know you got to have a good fight,
dude.
Couple
Jonah
of fights.
Gadjovich yesterday. My
Gadjovich,
God,
I think he started that game with a quota. I need to get in 2 fights.
yeah. You got those calls, Marcos? We got those from last night. Are those in the system already? Because Jonah Gadjovich, and you know we love Doug Plagens. Doug Plagens calls a great hockey game, but he's pretty good at calling fights too. I mean, he
oh, here we go.
It was
Rice.
I was leaving flag football practice, and I had the Panthers game on, and it was right when the fight was starting. And here we go. I was like, oh, my son's like, what's going on? I'm like, Panthers fight. What a delight. Are they in there, Marcos?
I have the goals. Unfortunately, I got to get the fight in the
All
system.
right. All right. Get the fights in the system and tell whoever the chatty Cathy is right now that you're busy. So we get the headlines brought to you by the Doral Kia. Doral Kia. Choose from over 500 new Kia miles in inventory at the Sports, Sorrento, and Telluride. Remember, when it comes to Kia, the great deals are at Doral Kia. We're going to talk to the bad guy today. Chael Sonnen is going to stop by the program today.
Is he still?
Don't
bad
embarrass
guy
me
when
again today,
He
Tobin.
mostly does.
He's not a bad.
analyst work.
He's not
No.
bad guy. He's
No,
the
no.
bad guy.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. Can you still be the bad guy when you don't fight no more?
You know what, Leroy? That is your first question. You just found it today. That is your first question to him.
You
ask
know what?
him.
I thought Tobin was going to embarrass me. Leroy, don't embarrass me today. dude.
No, I'm not gonna ask that question.
Why don't you just ask what the P stands for in Chael P. Sonnen too?
Yeah.
Ridiculous questions. Like these are silly questions.
I'm like, okay, like, guess what? It happens in WWE all the time. Guy becomes a heel, but he's still loved by everybody. Then they get away from it, and he becomes one of the greats, even though he was a heel. So when you become one of the greats, when you become that, analyst or post career, do you still take the persona of the guy you were in the ring?
I can't believe you're asking this question of the bad guy. Is he still the bad guy?
It's really a ridiculous question.
You know it. You got. Oh my goodness.
Also, if I ever saw Stone Cold and he didn't offer me a beer, or he's like, no, I'm not really drinking today, I'd be pissed. So yeah, they do have to remain that way.
Okay.
Be disappointed otherwise. NBA action last night. The Lakers beat the Knicks in overtime, 113-109. LeBron James, 31 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, and 1 confrontation with Stephen A. Smith.
Angry.
Well, you know. Unless he was just congratulating Stephen A. Smith on his new contract.
I just think, like, at some point you got to just call it like you see it. LeBron's one of the all-time greats, but
That's your take?
I'm just saying a lot of times people treat him as low-hanging fruit. Nothing to talk about? Let's rag on LeBron. That'll get it going.
I think LeBron's issue was some comments that he had about Bronny James. People are saying that the comments that he said here were to keep his son out of it. And then he walks away. But Stephen A. Smith, he swore he wasn't going to talk about this on his show, but then it mysteriously went viral. So now he's leading First Take with it today.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you have kids, right, then you understand where that's coming from.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah, but your kids in the NBA, though.
But it's not coming from a NBA player. It's coming from a father. And if you're a father, you understand that.
That's not fair, though. Like, he has access that other fathers don't. I'm sure a lot of fathers would like to tell Stephen A. to go bleep himself, but they don't have the same access as LeBron James.
Pretty much. Okay.
Well,
so
Stephen A.
You're saying that if it wasn't LeBron, that Stephen A. could pretty much say anything about anybody's kid and have no repercussions?
That's a question for you, Frog Boy.
Hold on. Let me explain something to you. When Fonz was like 8 years old, he came in the house crying. What's wrong? The big kid talking trash to me. Said some things. I say, you want me to go handle it? Yeah. Now, I go out on the street to find the kid riding, like Debo up and down on his bike. He's 16 years old.
Okay.
No, so I go to him and I say, hey, man, would you pick on somebody your own size? Yeah. He goes, my dad's a cop. I said, well, let's go see your dad.
Okay.
So we rode over to the house.
Yeah.
I told the dad, what's up? I said, if he want to mess around like a grown man, he gonna deal with a grown man. Mm-hmm. And his father said, I understand. That's it. So I'm never gonna have a problem with a parent defending a kid. I don't care what the circumstances are.
Okay,
and you as a parent will understand that soon enough.
I do understand it, but okay, let's say Fonz played for his middle school team, and then a middle school writer who maybe is in 8th grade when Fonz is in 6th grade writes, Fonz stunk up the joint today. Do you then go to the school?
No. Keep in mind.
Yeah.
That conversation had absolutely nothing to do with basketball. Stephen A.'s comments, right? And I'm more than sure LeBron said, if you want to keep it about basketball, that's fine.
Well, I think the thing that went really viral on Bronny is he asked LeBron to step in and stop this because Bronny was so embarrassing on the court. It's harsh criticism. I mean, it is. I get you, but I would understand as a dad totally to be like, F that guy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, here's the only reason why I came back at you, Frog Boy, right? Yeah. Because why do we eliminate the human side of certain situations in sports? This has nothing to do with Bronny, the basketball player. This has to do with Bronny, the son of LeBron James. And LeBron James, as a father, went over and talked to not a basketball player. LeBron's great enough. He knows how good or bad his son is.
Yeah, right? LeBron, the 40-year-old father, spoke to Stephen A., however old he is, other man, and said, stop talking about my son. And I respect that.
No, you think that's what he... No. See, and that's where I think people... I mean, I'm more than sure. Mm-hmm. LeBron been getting talked about his whole career.
Yep.
Right? there's criticism of a talent in sports. The way Stephen A presented it, right, was not clearly just about the talent, but he was saying, LeBron, stop this foolishness with your son. Right? Which is, wait a minute. Who, like, what father? What father is going to go to their son or their team or their work and go, you know what? My son sucks. Get him off the team. Who's going to say that? Give me a father.
No, I mean, and I completely agree with that. You're gonna support your son, but you are the only reason, for real. You are the only reason your son's there, like that.
Because I'm one of the best to ever do it. Yeah, okay.
That is a bit of nepotism that comes with that.
Oh, okay, fine. So let me ask you a question. If you the Lakers,
yeah,
and you got LeBron doing what he's doing at 40,
yeah,
and the way him and Luka look, right? You got a problem with putting Bronny in the 15th seat?
No, not the 15th.
Okay.
Seat. No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's not act like if we.
But only because he's Bronny. Let's say his name was something different. I don't know, like Drew Smith. I'd be like, no, I don't want this guy on this 15th spot.
But LeBron wouldn't respond that way because that ain't his son.
What I'm saying is, LeBron, you got your son to the league. You're gonna have to deal with some criticism sometime. Someone's gonna have to mention, hey, you go to work with your daddy.
Like, I mean, that is like it is. He is going to have to deal with criticism as a professional athlete. That is with the territory. But I definitely think that there's levels of criticism, and then there's like he's asking. He basically asked LeBron James to tap out on his career because it's so embarrassing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like if he wants to comment about how bad Bronny is, hell, we've all done that. Like Bronny played 5 minutes. Woof.
Okay. And it's also one of these things, like, I don't really have a problem with Stephen A saying it either, because he's free to say what he wants to say. But don't think LeBron's not going to get pissed about it.
He's free to say what he wants to say. My question is, when can what he's saying be taken not as criticism, but personal?
It's always going to be personal with your son, though, Leroy. Like, here's the thing, though. Your criticism is always going to be personal of his son.
If your son is 0 for 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody says, "Whoo, Bronny stuck up the joint. He was 0 for 10." There's a difference in that. That is factual, okay? Then going, LeBron, you need to stop this.
I understand, but it is one of those things. Like, what do you like? Is he supposed to keep it to himself at a certain point? Because like Bronny James's basketball was at a point where it was so bad. It's like this is crazy for him to be on a court.
But if he, but all my point is this: if Stephen A. was talking about the basketball, that's indisputable. He's been bad, right? But the way he went after it was a different level than just criticizing basketball. And that's when LeBron stepped in.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not questioning whether Bronny stinks. I'm not questioning that at all. But the way Stephen A. threw some cheese on it and went after LeBron, that's probably why he got the little snapback. You see what I'm saying?
I really like it. It's also not a new thing. It's going to be more of a microscope, and it's going to feel like nepotism because it's LeBron, which it is. But the league is full of nepotism. Like, I've literally seen 3 Antetokounmpo brothers that couldn't average a triple single, like Zoran Dragic. You know, the up and down the front office. Like the league is full of it.
But if you say that about Giannis, or you say that about Goran, you don't get the same response or the same clicks as if you say it about LeBron.
Of course.
And so
he's the biggest athlete on the planet.
Right. So if LeBron comes back and, hey man, what are we doing? Right? We would all as fathers have a problem with the way that Stephen A. went after that situation. Okay? So let's not act like, this is strictly about the basketball when you say something like that to LeBron.
Also, last night the Warriors beat the Nets 121-119. Can they lose one? Like, just
I tell you what,
can I get a night off? Can I get a night off?
I looked at the stat sheet.
Hmm?
Jimmy is the only one that was plus.
Yeah.
Steph was minus 16.
Well, they seem to be very in love, Leroy. 65 points combined. 65 points combined yesterday.
Honeymoon stage.
Hey, honeymoon stage. Hey, by my count, there's only 18 regular season games left.
All right.
That's a honeymoon stage.
Right now, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yep.
This has nothing to do with love or hate for Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you take LeBron and Luka, or would you take Curry and Jimmy?
LeBron's playing amazing.
Answer the question.
LeBron's playing amazing. I didn't think LeBron James could play like this.
What about Luka?
Like defensively, like he's been a monster. It's been crazy. Like he used to he was like taking time off. Now they got to let Luka take off. So now LeBron has to pick it up on defense, and it's insane.
He's on the way down.
What do you mean he's from the who? Luka?
No, we've been saying that for 5 years.
He's not on the way down. He turned 40 and got better.
Couple years from now, he won't even be able to make the.
Didn't he need and let me tell you, I will say one thing, okay? As a side, I'm not saying this is a LeBron anything. But when he takes these breaks and he comes back,
test him.
You guys do with it what you will. But he takes these breaks and he comes back, and then all of a sudden he can't be stopped. He's done it like 6 times in his career. I don't know what's going on there.
Very interesting. Missed that All-Star break, huh?
Did you see that shot too by Steph yesterday?
Oh my goodness! Like
Come on,
why?
dude.
Like every time I see Steph shoot, I think of that commercial with the dude from Criminal Minds, Shamar Moore, unnecessary.
But here's what's pissing me off about the Warriors. This is what's really pissing me off. They're the anti-Heat in that the Heat big lead collapse. I tune in and I look at my phone every day. I'm like, Warriors down 17 points. I'm like, cool. And I'm even looking on Twitter, and there's a lot of Warriors fans blasting Jimmy Butler. They end up winning. I'm like, it's every game. I'm tuning in. I was like, good, Warriors. Maybe I can have a night of peace. Nope. Warriors cruise control yet again.
Brunson's hurt, so I wonder how this is going to go.
Oh, that's not good.
That's not good.
That's not good.
And you could see it when that little ankle hit the ground. You're like, oh, because it's laying flat. It's like laying flat on the ground. I'm like, ooh.
Our own basketball team is in action tonight. We'll get to it. 15 minutes of Heat is next.
Previously on
Tobin and Leroy.
Hope you mother have a good day.
WQAM broadcasting live from the
15 minutes of heat here, brought to you by Hollywood Kia. At Hollywood Kia, the #1 Kia dealer in all of Florida. Get the star treatment. We want to see you in a Hollywood Kia. Visit them online at hollywoodkia.com. Miami Heat back on the hardwood tonight. They are taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. That is a 6:45 preheat. Alejandro Solana back at it tonight. He will give you your coverage. Thank God. And we will.
Are you boots on the ground? I figure you boots on the ground C8, man.
You know what, dude? My plan initially was, but because I'm taking a weekend away with the boots. I'll be back Monday for the Hornets. That just shows you. You want to know how much I love this team. I'll be there for the Hornets game. Been there for Hornets and Wizards. But no, I'm not. I'm going to take a night out. I'm doing jiu-jitsu and football, and my son's got a big packed weekend, so I'm taking the night off. I will watch it on television and react accordingly. But of course, it is exciting because the Ant-Man is in town, and of course, and we need to see if there's a little flirtation and just a little. We'll see what's out there, baby.
What is wrong with you?
Wow, he's a fun player. Oh, he's a good player. He is a good player.
Looter and a Riot, they suck.
They don't suck. They're just not very. They're not awful, but they're not good.
Okay, I mean they're not the Wizards.
They're not the Wizards. What are they? They're 7th right now.
Yes, they're 35-29.
So basically, they're in the same position as the Heat, just in a different conference.
Different conference. I mean, if they were in the East right now, they would be 6th. So I mean, the difference between 6th and 7th right now in the East is 5 games. So it's the play-ins and the playoffs are quite separated in the what.
Dude, can I just tell you?
Yeah,
I am absolutely as I am more than sure the Heat brass.
Yeah,
are absolutely tired of being in the play-in. Come on.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I will say though, I saw this, this Max Strus, and he posted a photo of him D'ing up Bam Adebayo, and I saw a quote where he goes, "Listen, the ball slipped out of his hands. Did it have to do with me being there? Hard to say."
Sounds like something you would say.
I was like, I hate evil hair, long-haired Max Strus. You've changed. You've changed, by the way.
Now, it has to. He's just messing with Bam, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
But Gabe Vincent yesterday too. The two of Gabe Vincent was 4 for 4 last night. All of a sudden, everybody's coming around, and we're here. Terry Rozier's deactivated his Instagram.
Oh, has he?
Hey.
Yep.
Yikes.
If I may. Scary Terry. Still get you. Dude. The internet is winning. You ain't go outrun the internet.
Man.
But I will say, I think I would take a time out too. Because here's the thing that sucks, man.
Terry.
But here's the thing that really sucks being a player, right? So when you play bad, sometimes people think you don't care. And it's gut-wrenching to play bad and not be able to help your team win. So I can imagine how Terry feels, right? While trying to be positive, but knowing deep down, yeah, dude.
And that's the thing that's frustrating about it, right? It's because it's like, I don't understand a drop-off like this. And it's like,
either.
You know that he had the neck injury, and then of course you have this whole investigation thing, which is like, listen, I don't know if it's going to turn out to be anything, but I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it doesn't feel good when they're like, guess what, dude? We need to talk about this.
Well, just let's put it.
That would have me crapping my pants.
When people like you, every time he shoots an air ball, go,
Leroy, you saw that montage.
I'm just saying. How do you think that wears on him?
I'm sure not great, dude. I'm sure not great.
Listen. sometimes there's certain situations where I have the ability that maybe you don't to kind of see the human side of it from being in that situation where you get booed by your own people, right? I was 3-13 one year, a lot of booing. And so I understand that, man, we suck. Like, I understood that. I didn't want to suck. I prepared not to suck, but we sucked. And it's hard. It's hard when I tell you, in the 2 years of high school football and the 4 years that I was at Michigan, I lost about the same amount of games as my first year in the NFL.
Yeesh.
Right. So, yeah, it's brutal. And I get it. And I try to understand it while still commenting on, yeah, he hasn't been very good. But I would never, it's hard for me to go to that place that you'll go. Right? Because you would not hesitate. Got to tell you, you're not helping your investigation shooting air balls.
Well, dude, but that's the thing. In a way, I understand, but it's almost like when you see a drop-off like that, it almost looks suspicious. I know what Terry Rozier good looks like. I've seen it.
Right.
And I'm like, who is this guy?
Right. I like, again, and I try to do this. And I tell people, hey, have you ever had a bad day at your job? The only difference is your screw up ain't on TV. I mean, but people don't care. Like, people don't care. And I don't, and I get it. I'm not, again, I don't get mad at fans for booing when an athlete sucks. I don't, right? I was privy to it. I understand it. In fact, after one post game, I told a reporter I'd boo my ass too.
Oh, that's
right.
good.
But I don't want to play this bad. I'm not preparing to play this bad. I don't know how to stop it. I've never sucked like, I've never been on a team that sucked like this ever. So, yeah, I get it. I put it this way. I guess I feel for him, right? Because I understand, but at the same time, I want him to be better.
Of course.
Right.
We will see how much time he gets. It's going to depend on who's back healthy, which I'm sure we'll get an update after shoot around, which gets going in about 15 minutes. It appears that Andrew Wiggins and Jaime are upgraded to questionable from their ankle. They've missed the last handful of games. The one guy who's for sure out tonight is our boy, the Warehouse.
Yep.
He's still out with that knee sprain, which not great. Not great, but obviously you want to be careful with the young lad and not have him get hurt. Speaking of young, did you see yesterday we had a crossover in the sporting universe down here? First, we had Jaime Jaquez Jr. He banged the drum at the Panthers game.
Cool.
So that was cool.
He didn't get hurt. He didn't get bubble guts or nothing. I mean, like, I'm scared for the basketball players to do anything. Every time somebody do something, they out for a couple of days.
It is chilly in the arena.
Oh, I'm going to tell you what really pissed me off. He hung out with the Panthers if they start getting the bubble guts.
Oh, dude, you're not kidding. You better not get the Panthers to Jaime.
Hey.
Pretty sure Jonah Gadjovich.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
And I was just chewing on this for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Because our mentality in football is a little different. That's probably because the we don't have guaranteed contracts like basketball do or baseball. But when was the last time you missed work because of a head cold?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Head cold.
And I would just say this. I've had head colds before. You got to carry around a tissue. And you're always blowing your nose, and you guys
have seen when I've had those gross shows.
But you know what they were saying football. Your legs work, don't they? Like,
We'll get back into the Heat in a little bit, and I'll tell you about that other crossover that we had last night. But we got to get to the Cats last night. Their win over the Jackets.
I mean, I saw Columbus beat the Red Wings, and I was like, man, they look good, and they were on a little run. That team looked terrible last night. They couldn't. I mean, like, holy smokes. It was like they couldn't keep the puck. They couldn't, and then they were hooking and slicing it, and they're, oh my goodness. I was like, this is not the team I saw on Saturday that I was like, ooh, this is gonna be a good game.
We'll take a break. Road to repeat coming on up.
We got to get on to ice hockey.
The NFL free agency pot is
Oh, baby. Tobin and Leroy back with you here. We're going to get to Road to Repeat here, as it's brought to us by our friends over at Celsius. Hockey fans, don't sit this one out when it's game time. Make Celsius a part of your play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks, the official energy drink of
your Florida Panthers.
All right, so the Panthers win yesterday, a 3-0 shutout. Sergei Bobrovsky moves up to 10th all-time in wins. He's good.
10th all-time, huh?
Goosies.
Yeah.
Mackie Samoskevich lit the lamp for the Cats. Sam Reinhart had a goal and 2 assists, as did Barkey. And they're killing it, man. But the fun thing we got to talk about is Jonah Gadjovich, who got into two big scraps in this game. And he was throwing some bombs in this matchup. So let's get the call last night from Doug Plagans. Here is the first one with Gadjovich.
Puck played up the far side. Gadjovich took a shove from LeBate. And here we go. It's Jonah Gadjovich and Joe LeBate. Two big, tough customers throwing bombs. The right hand's flying between these two right at the center line. And then they pull in close. Gadjovich and LeBate. The tussle spills over toward the Panthers bench, and eventually our linesmen get in the middle of that. And my goodness, they were swinging for the fences, both of them.
They were starting the lawnmower, weren't they? Pretty quick. Cut her down. The rights were wide open for both of them. And LeBate, Gadjovich, toe-to-toe.
2 minutes for roughing. 5 minutes for fighting. 5 minutes for fighting.
So Gadjovich started this. They give him the roughing call.
10:26 left.
Wow.
So I don't understand. So they get 5 minutes for fighting.
Yeah.
And then
you can get a roughing call, so like it could be a penalty of start, so they go on the power play, but there could also be a fight where it's like if it's a mutual thing, it's just 5 for fighting, they're out of the game for 5 minutes.
And so did they go? So it was 5-on-4 for 3 minutes. For 2 minutes.
2.
Okay. So if you do, and then it was 4-on-4 for 3 minutes.
Oh my God, I don't know, dude. Like like this is.
They both got 5 minutes.
Yes, but you can get 5 minutes penalty for fighting, and it's just a 5-on-5. They're just out of the game.
Oh, okay. So they just take them out.
Just take them out.
Okay.
But Jonah Gadjovich was making the most of his time, and he decided to clip his nails with scissors.
With scissors.
Whoa.
That would have really been something if he'd have looked over at the lady right there and said, "You got your nail clippers with you?"
I believe she did give it to him.
The scissors?
She gave him the scissors.
And sometimes you get that little hang part, you got to cut it off. Otherwise, it messes your hand up.
Well, I think this was Paul Maurice on the fight. And this is him on what he was doing.
Looking at Jonah's 2 fights, especially in a tight game early on, how much does that mean just to provide you guys with some energy there early?
Yeah, I keep it going. That second fight is 2 heavyweights. Like, there isn't anybody on either bench that wants to be involved in that fight, coaches included. That's impressive what he's willing to do for us.
Weird stuff has gone on in the penalty box over the years, but he was clipping his fingernails with a pair of scissors.
I think he was just taking out the split skin.
Okay.
Yeah. So he wouldn't have been doing his nails. There's no manicures in there.
It's a rule. Scissors.
It's a league rule. No, there would be some extra flayed skin off that, and he'd be just slicing it off. That's a whole different level of toughness. Yeah. That's a level of testosterone I'll never get to.
I love the way he just calmly says some of the most non-masculine things ever. That's a level of testosterone I'll never get to.
He's a man who had his kittens on his T-shirt for
Great. But also, man, I wouldn't want to fight. He looks like he could flip the switch.
Right. Right.
Maybe not Jonah Gadjovich flipped the switch, but this was
and everybody on that squad seems to know when Paul Maurice has had enough.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here's the other fight call last night with Gadjovich.
Matthew Olivier just threw a hard shot on Tomas Nosek. And yeah, this Blue Jackets team, they don't need too many chances.
Yeah,
Here we go at center. Jonah Gadjovich.
Number 2 for Gadjovich.
His second one of the night. This time it's Olivier right in the center circle. The old-fashioned way. 2 heavyweights, 2 of the best in the business. When it comes to this sort of thing, they lock horns. Gadjovich hands the collar of Olivier's jersey with the left hand, tries to break free with the right hand. Olivier playing some defense, then he comes over the right. A right from Gadjovich lands, then a couple of rights from Olivier. Gadjovich counters right to the mandible of Olivier, and these two continue to throw right hands both directions. Gadjovich and Olivier. This coming right after Olivier threw that hard shot on Tomas Nosek. They battle spilling down to our left inside the Blue Jackets line. One of the best scraps you'll see anytime, anywhere. Gadjovich and Olivier, and eventually the two of them run out of gas, and you see the mutual sign of respect, I think, between the two top customers there, Gadjovich and Olivier. And talk about a full day's work here in period number 1 for Jonah Gadjovich, going head-to-head with first LeBate and now Olivier.
If I gave them 2 WWE names, could you tell the difference what he was commenting on?
Did he drop a mandible?
Mandible.
Oh, hit him in the mandible.
And in the background, they had let the bodies hit the floor.
Yeah.
That's game ops right there, dude. That's game ops.
Yeah. I mean, like, holy smokes.
Bro, that
here we go.
And here we go. Doug Plagans is so damn good at calling those fights.
That's
a professional right there.
They're throwing bombs.
Bombs. 2 of the best tough customers in all of hockey. Goosies.
It's like
2-1
I
filthy.
don't understand, because here's the thing about Doug. He's not an old guy, right? I mean, how old do you have to be to use the phrase tough customer? right. Like, next time we talk to him, we got to, like, hey, love the way you call these fights. You got to up your game. You too young to be saying tough customer.
I don't think he does. There's like an art to it. Like, it just sounds hockey, you know?
Oh, like
my favorite was he dropped mandible, though. Like, what? When the last time has used the term mandible for a jaw?
Right. But I'm just saying, like, he says some things like, does it just hit him? Does he have it prepared? Because, like, we're sitting here listening to this fight and go, tough customer. Mandible.
There's just something about a hockey announcer, dude. Like, he's so good at it, and he paints such a great picture on the radio.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look.
He really does.
I could see the picture. I saw the fight. But here's the kicker. Goldie and Doug do it differently. Right? And I don't know whether it's TV versus radio.
It's definitely TV versus radio. Like, TV, I think, you almost want to step back and let the action speak for itself.
But holy smokes, the blow by blow.
But like, Doug Plagans goes from hockey to Jim Lampley in a second.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's remarkable. It just, like, and Jim Lampley would say 2 tough customers.
Definitely.
Right?
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We talked to him. He's long in the tooth.
By the way, he's
going back. Yeah,
he's going back. Another guy who got some good, Mackie Samoskevich and our boy Jim Lampley.
Hey, I got to tell you, you come on the Tobin and Leroy show.
Things are happening.
Things are happening.
Things are happening.
I mean, look, how long have we had Xander on?
I know.
Since he was a wee lad.
A wee lad. By the way, one last note. We had a Swedish link up last night, cross sport. Our boy Pelle Larsson met up with Gustav Forsling and Jesper Boqvist at the game. So the Swedish pro athletes unite.
Gotta tell you, the 3 of them standing there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell which one is the hockey player and which one's the basketball player? Because they're all pretty tall, right? I would say the hair gives it away. But yeah,
just because Pella's hair is too pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, well, hockey. He got the hockey mullet going on the right.
Yeah. What a time. What a game by the Cats. They win 3-0.
It was and it wasn't that close because the pressure that they put on that poor goalie.
Yep.
I mean, it was like I'm like after watching that, you're like, they only scored 3.
Bob could have hung a hammock between the pipes and took a nap in the second period.
Yes. I mean, and I would say that's the portion of it that the coach has to love, right?
Of course.
Just
he loves him some Seth. He's loving Seth Jones already. He's loving him.
Oh yeah. I wish he would have got his first goal. Oh, because it was fun. They're fun to watch, man.
They are fun to watch. You know, this is gonna be fun to watch coming up at Live.
Oh,
dude, let me tell you something. What an event this is. We had a time of our lives last year, Leroy. Tell the people about what's coming on up.
We did. So what Live is a combination of, like, especially down here, we party, we love golf, and it's kind of a combination of both. Sorry. Live Golf returns to Trump National Doral April 4th through 6th. And because of the Blue Monster, they're going big, as well as the Giants of the game and John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, and Brooks Koepka, all major championship winners. So you're getting quality golf. They've got a huge DJ sets, epic street food, and Sky Punk legend Sublime headlining. Grab your tickets at livegolf.com. That is livegolf.com.
It's time for our Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tonga Vailoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Can go to hell. Tua Tonga Vailoa. Dolphins quarterback.
Daddy loves you guys.
Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Check the history of
Hour 2 of the program, ladies and gentlemen.
Clockwork.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna hear it from you, dude. We've got you skate the last couple days on you're on real thin ice, dude.
What are you talking about?
You are on. I'm getting complaints
Can I just say
left.
something?
No. I will let you say something, but let me say what I have to say. I have been getting complaint after complaint after complaint that we are letting you skate, and you're skating right now on thin ice, pal.
Yeah.
Thin ice. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So, I haven't been close.
Well, okay, dude. That's ridiculous.
I have not been close.
That's ridiculous.
And let me tell you, I tested the waters of how committed I am to this. I went to Walmart.
Alone or with people?
Alone.
Nah, that doesn't count. You need somebody to comment to.
No. So I have to go with someone?
Yeah.
You know who's the worst? Who I can't, like, I could go with Mel and she'll understand. But my daughter,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Thin ice, dude.
I'm good.
Thin ice.
I'm good. What is this, day 3?
Yeah.
My first Fish Friday. I made it.
Oh, your Fish Friday? You going to get what are you going? Fried fish today? You going you gonna go get some mahi?
I'm getting the catfish. I had mahi on Tuesday. I had mahi with crawfish on it, and it was excellent.
Headlines brought to you by Doral Kia. Doral Kia, choose from over 500 new Kia miles in inventory at the Sportage, Sorrento, and Telluride. Remember, when it comes to Kia, the great deals are at Doral Kia. Cheap Bengals doing Cheap Bengals things. They allow Trey Hendrickson to go seek a trade.
Which is crazy, right? Like, nothing says, you're great, we don't want to pay you, go somewhere else. Right? Like, here's what I don't understand in sports. And I get the monetary portion of this. And I really hate this with baseball. You trade players for prospects and hope that the prospects end up like the player you got rid of.
Yeah.
So at what point do you get the player you want and you keep him? That's what I don't understand in sports. Like,
yeah, but the question is with the Bengals, like, they have a situation, like, they've only paid Joe Bushiro. And they're up. They have 3 guys. They got
to not to pay anybody.
They're trying not to pay anybody. Like, that's the thing that's great. Like, and then Joe Bushiro is sitting here and he goes, "I guess I'm just a Bengal."
Right.
Like, if this was the NBA, Joe Bushiro would be like, "I'm making a stink. I'm getting out of here. Get me out of here, dude."
Right. But again, I get paying the quarterback, and you franchised T. Higgins twice to avoid paying him, when in fact, if you had paid him, it would have cost you less.
And who knows if they even keep him?
Here's the deal. You know who else does this and ends up paying an arm and a leg for a player? Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas does the same thing to the point where they can't afford any free agents.
Same thing with Chase. Like they went and they could have paid Chase last year, and now they're gonna have to pay him what, 6? Like who knows what they're gonna have to pay him?
Right, exactly. So I don't like, and it becomes a situation where you're doing this.
They are saying
you're hoping that he doesn't have as good a year, so you don't have to pay him as much, which is counterproductive to what you're trying to accomplish.
Trey Hendrickson, they're saying they're seeking a second and third for him.
Second and third, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But you forgot the caveat to this.
Got to pay him that money.
Yeah.
According to reports, also a little in-state same position drama. The Browns owner refuses to meet with Myles Garrett.
Yes. They
but
here's what they want.
He wants to leave, dude.
Let me explain to you what they're thinking. Give us an opportunity to fix it.
Dude.
You understand what I'm saying? So if they bring in a quarterback and they bring in some offensive weapons, will Myles Garrett feel that he's in a better place? If they get past the draft and through free agency and the team is the same, then I understand. But basically what the Browns are doing is they're saying, and they're betting on themselves, saying, we can fix this so that he'll want to stay.
Can they though, dude? Like
I'm not saying they can or they can't, because they still got that 7,000-pound gorilla in the building. And here's the part, if I'm Myles Garrett, that I'm upset with. I'm a Browns lifer. I have dedicated every minute of my career to the success of this team. And they have brought people in here that have been counterproductive to what I want to accomplish. Fair assessments. Okay? All fair. Put it this way. Here's where you know where Myles Garrett is. I don't want an extension. I don't want more money. I want to be gone.
Yep.
When you turn down money, right? So I get both sides of it. I think because it's only been a month, a little over a month away from the season, that they feel that they can fix this.
But what's the Hail Mary? Like, is the Hail Mary you get Cam or Shador and he's going to believe in a rookie? Or is it?
I just think, like, you have to be honest about the situation and look at it and go, hey, are they making an attempt to put me on a winner? Right? Are they doing good because at this point, that franchise needs to do right by Myles Garrett, either by letting him go or by putting a team around him that can compete. And once that happens, right, then we'll have a different discussion. So say if we get to June or July and you see the signings and whatever, and Myles Garrett says, no. Then at that point, but I think everybody's avoiding Myles Garrett and nobody wants to talk to Myles Garrett. And Myles Garrett doesn't want to talk to them because he doesn't want to hear what they're going to do. He wants to know that he's on a competitor. Also, look at the division you're in.
It's a tough division.
Right. So I get both sides of it. I think that
You would think, though, like if the reports are true that Haslam refused to meet with him, like
no. Haslam didn't refuse to meet with him. Myles Garrett refused to meet with the owner.
Oh, that's not what I've seen reported.
Oh, you seen that?
I've seen it the other way around.
Oh, okay.
I've seen it the other way around, that the owner won't meet with Garrett, which is like, that seems like a poor decision.
Well,
in all this, you want to smooth things over.
Well, because here's the deal. As of right now, anything that you would say to him would be all talk, because nothing has been done. So, do you try to do some things and then have that conversation with Myles and then say, look, this is what we've done. Bear with us?
I just think that from my standpoint, if I was Myles Garrett, it comes down to, do you think Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders can be Jaden Daniels your first year?
Mm-hmm.
Because who's the veteran QB that they're going to bring in that's going to change the plan?
It's all on the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
And here's
the guy's a good coach. I would believe in the coach.
Right.
When he's not a quarterback, he's been decent.
Here's the deal, though. Now they need a running back. So as the years go forward in Myles Garrett's career, instead of gaining momentum towards that goal, you're actually losing momentum because you're losing other players. They traded Za'Darius to the
Lions.
The Lions. So how do you think maybe he was affected by that? Right? So I don't know. I just know that if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm going to do everything that I can to try to make the situation better and then present it to Myles Garrett. If he's still not happy, then I'll help facilitate a trade. But I think if I'm also the Browns, I do it before the draft.
I mean, like, that's the thing, is like they say they won't listen to any calls. Like, he feels like the guy out there that would get you a haul. Like, you would at least get 2 for him, you think? 2 first-round picks.
You know what? It's weird because you think of all the players, people really haven't given a lot, because think about this. What is Hendrickson going to get? Second and third?
But he wants a new deal. Like, does Garrett want a new deal?
Yeah,
or
he's younger.
He is. Is he better?
Is he better than Myles Garrett? Myles Garrett is one of the scariest human beings.
That's what I'm saying.
Like just walking by him, like even seeing him smile and dance, you thinking that's a monster.
He's a giant.
Yeah. So, and I don't know. I just, there's a fine line between, can a player determine whether the team is doing enough to win?
I mean, in this sport, it doesn't, like, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Like, it's kind of what got Deshaun Watson initially, like, wanting to leave Houston, is he didn't trust the organization.
Right.
I mean, before all the baggage came on with it and all the scandal came with it. Like, remember, he was trying to get out of there before all that stuff dropped.
Correct.
But, so it's not, I mean, it's not unheard of, like, when time comes to an end, organizations are usually, I think there's more of a propensity to be like, all right, you're done with it, like, let's move on. I think with the Dolphins, like, they're kind of with that with Tyreek, right? Like, how bought in is Tyreek with this team now?
Right.
With everything. We'll take a break here on the show. But before that, Leroy, tell them one more time what we got coming up here at Doral with Live Golf.
So Live Golf is coming back. You know how much we like to party. You know how much we like golf. And they're bringing it to the Blue Monster, Trump National Doral, April 4th through the 6th. They go big. And this is what I love about this tournament. I can park my butt in one spot. All the golfers tee off at the same time. I'm talking about guys like John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, all major championship winners. They have huge DJ sets, epic street food, and ska punk legend Sublime headlining. I can watch all my golfers from one spot. It's unbelievable. Grab your tickets at livegolf.com. That's livegolf.com.
The NFL free
Welcome back, everybody. It's Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQM. Happy Friday to everybody out there. I want to let you guys know about an event we got coming up, Buckets and Bets. You guys can experience every buzzer beater, every heart-stopping moment at Odyssey's Buckets and Bets from March 20th through the 23rd. It's presented by Hard Rock Bet. We're transforming the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood into the ultimate college basketball tip-off weekend. Immerse yourself with massive LED screens, beers with your crew, and real-time betting action. VIP tickets and packages are available at Ticketmaster. Get all the info at WQAM.com. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. You must be 21 or older and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood. Keep listening to our show for details on how you can win tickets. We'll give those away before the end of today's show. We are also going to talk to the bad guy, Chael Sonnen, as you charmed him last time, Marcos. The last time that we had Chael Sonnen on, you were smitten. You love the bad guy. Are you excited to speak with him again?
I am indeed. You embarrassed me last time, I must say, but I forgive you. I hope Leroy doesn't embarrass me this time. And I have written a soliloquy for this.
How did I embarrass you?
Because you didn't give him a proper introduction. And then, I'm standing there like, oh, stupid little frog boy. And then at the end, he's like, you're not going to talk, producer boy? So if possible, if you would allow me to, after you finish thinking.
You can ask whatever you want. You can hop in whenever you want. I didn't mean that as a frogatory comment.
I felt offended, but
I'm sorry. It wasn't defrogatory.
I'll move past it. I want to know if it's okay after you thank the nice people at Toyota of Hollywood later when we get him on the hotline.
Yeah.
If I give him the proper introduction that he deserves.
I would be all for it. I would be all for it. We will talk to. By the way, did you see that Ilia Topuria had a little teasy poo on Twitter? He goes, when we announce it, you won't believe it. Get ready. And I was like, oh. I was like, well, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I don't think he's known to tell tall tales. Sometimes Conor McGregor say some things and you're like, that's just Conor McGregor. Topuria, I don't know.
That's a weird, what would be the thing that he could fight, who he could fight that you wouldn't believe? Because there's not I feel like everybody assumes he's going to fight Islam for the lightweight championship because we talked to, he moved off of featherweight. It's going to be, and I don't think he's going to fight Patty because Patty's got to fight. I don't even know if Patty's going to beat Michael Chandler. So I don't feel like that's the matchup. I'm not sure. Unless he's just teasing them. I feel like Poirier is a pretty obvious fight. Like everybody would love that fight. I don't understand. Like if you told me when we announce it, you won't believe it. And then I'm like, oh, you're fighting Poirier. I'd be like, well, that's an awesome fight. I can't wait, but I would believe it. Like the only guy that I would be like, oh, I don't believe it is Conor because I never believe Conor's fighting again. Like that's the only guy when you would be like, you're right. I don't believe it, Ilia, because I don't believe he'll make it to the cage.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That's where he lost us. If he would have just said huge fight coming, we'd be like, all right, you won't believe it. You won't believe it.
I don't know what that means.
He's gonna fight Mighty Mouse.
You guys, I'm actually guess what? I'm going down to flyweight. I'm gonna, this whole I can't make the weight thing. I'm gonna go to flyweight, and then we will.
You wouldn't believe it.
You wouldn't believe it, but whenever you give me a tease like that, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna be like, all right, you better dazzle me. Don't just throw a tease out there like that, Ilia Topuria, and tell me once we announce it, you're not gonna believe it. I better not believe it.
This whole credibility is on the line with this one.
Yep, exactly, dude. Exactly. Oh, hello, Leroy.
What's up?
Hello. Were you getting a sandwich or something, dude?
No, I had to chase a dog.
Can't eat a sandwich.
Can't eat a sandwich.
Why?
Friday.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, got you there.
Peanut butter and jelly could kick rocks.
Wow. All right, let's not say things we can't take back.
I don't want it back. I don't want it back.
Okay.
Wow. You haven't lived until you got that government peanut butter in that can with the oil on the top. Then you feel differently about peanut butter.
I don't like that you base a lot of your current eating habits on things that happened 50 years ago. I still don't like your rice steak.
I just, dude, Like how you look at rice and how I look at rice are two different things. I know.
I feel like he would love paella.
Oh, he
I
would
didn't like.
love paella.
I've eaten it, right? But I'm saying like, as far as a go-to move, no.
You need a good paella.
Yeah, paella is delicious.
I eat rice with gumbo, red beans, right? Like there's certain things I eat rice with. Fried rice, big fan of fried rice.
Oh man, delicious.
Yeah.
We'll take a break here on the show. When we come back, we'll mix things on up, dude.
Got what you cute.
Yeah. Can you feel it, baby? I can too.
The NASCAR Cup Series is coming to Homestead Miami Speedway, and we got your chance to win tickets to NASCAR at its finest, high stakes, adrenaline fueled racing, and it's NASCAR's top drivers. You guys can win. Just go to WQM.com's contest page and enter there, everybody. It is that time, ladies and gentlemen, where we take out our feather dusters and we tickle Leroy's fancy for the weekend.
You know what tickle my fancy right now? Some food.
I thought you were going to say a fatty that you could shame.
See.
Oh, dude.
See. Nope.
That's low blow even for you, Joe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For you, dude.
I'm so fancy. You already.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. Leroy today at 105. The Miami Marlins take on the Boston Red Sox in spring training action. Tickle your fancy? Very mature.
Right now,
you not tickled?
My Marlins watching is only centered around one person while we still have him. Sandy.
Yeah. I knew who it was.
Okay.
I was aware. I knew where you were going with that one.
Yeah.
What about tonight at 8:00?
Hey.
The Miami Heat host the Minnesota Timberwolves. Does that game tickle your fancy?
Yep. Hopefully we can get more than 3/4.
I do see that the line looks like it went down. I think it was -4.5, and now it's 5.5. I hope that's not a bad sign about Tyler tonight. Well, we'll see.
Man, I'm telling you what. Bubble guts and head colds are killing. Like, holy smokes. They're out the same amount of time as a rolled ankle.
I know, dude. It's crazy. Also, I forget what Andrew Wiggins looks like. Like, can I see him and play in a Heat uniform?
Yeah, but with those ankles, though, when you see it, you're like, whoo.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Like you saw the one with Jalen Brunson last night.
Oh, that's not good.
Ooh. When your ankle lands sideways on the ground, you like, ooh.
Tomorrow, Leroy, at 6:00.
6?
On the ice.
Mm-hmm.
The Florida Panthers, they wrap up their homestand with a scrap against the Buffalo Sabres. Does that game tickle your fancy?
Well, it's not the Bills, but it'll have to do for now.
It's the only Buffalo we can beat.
Yep. I actually enjoy watching the Panthers. I'll be in on it.
All right. Leroy and our boy Mackie is killing it right now.
Killing it.
He's welcome.
He is welcome. The Rook, we welcomed him on the show, and he hasn't stopped scoring goals since. So,
yep.
What are you gonna do? Later on, Leroy, that night we have the second night of a back-to-back. The Miami Heat, they take on the Chicago Bulls at 8:00. Tickle your fancy?
Yeah, but hopefully we get some guys back. Right?
Hopefully.
Tickle, ankle.
Yep.
Like, I'm going to say this. I don't want to say it.
Careful.
But because of where I am with the fat shaming, I have to use other outlets.
So you're doing durability shaming?
I would say this. Why is the healthiest guy Terry Rozier?
I don't know. Though he wasn't last year.
Right.
It hasn't been the same since.
Yeah.
Leroy, that night we also have the Los Angeles Lakers, who are on a tear right now, taking on the Boston Celtics on national television.
Woo! That's
Tickles your fancy?
Oh,
My
yeah.
He is tickled.
Very rarely do you have a basketball game that piques your interest like that. That's not the home team.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm just curious because, first of all, the Lakers and Warriors play at 10 at night every night. Now we got him in prime time. I want to see I want to see the show.
All right.
I mean, even like out of shape Luka, I mean, still scoring 32 and damn near getting triple doubles. I mean, he can't be that much out of shape, right?
He's not out of shape. It was a lie. And honestly, quite frankly, I'm starting to buy into this was a conspiracy.
They didn't want to pay him.
No, I think that the NBA wanted to make moves to make this happen.
Really? Okay.
Shake up the league.
All right. They shook it up. We haven't had a trade deadline like this in a minute.
And especially one that's effective for your teams.
Right.
Can I just get that? Can the Warriors lose one, please? Just for my mental health. Meanwhile, Leroy, 10 o'clock on Saturday night from Las Vegas, UFC 313, Alex Pereira takes on Magomed Ankalaev for the light heavyweight championship of the world. Does that fight tickle your fancy?
It tickles my fancy, but I never make it through the card unless I'm there. But I would say this. It is amazing how you struggle through the English language, but how you can pull that name off.
My fancy is tickled.
Amazing.
Magomed Ankalaev?
Yes. He is batting 1,000 when it comes to getting names. He don't screw no names up.
I think he's got a chance.
Yeah?
I do.
All right.
I think he's got a chance. I really do. Leroy on Sunday.
Yes.
You know, we got, maybe I can get you at this one. On Sunday, in spring training action, the Miami Marlins take on the Houston Astros. Tickle your fancy?
Not tickled.
What are you doing? You think you were fancying it up and putting a different day on it?
It's local. Maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll go check out the fish right up the block.
No.
I might go. I might go. I'll tell my son, like, we'll watch Jansen Junk pitch, and he goes, "This guy," and I'm like, "They don't make him like Rob Nen, dude. They don't make him like Rob Nen anymore."
Who?
What? Please don't say things like that. Don't say things like that.
Who do they not?
Hey, can I just tell you,
Rob?
You
Nutt?
saying you don't know him is the equivalent to kicking Tobin in the junk, right?
You don't know who 1997 Marlins closer Rob Nen was? World champion.
Rob Nen.
NEN.
Dressed as a giant in this picture.
He did go to the Giants. That was his post. That was his post Marlins team, but he won a championship with the Fish. I love this Legends of Date Instagram account. I was taking down memory lane, although I think they were trolling on one of these because it said nothing like a good relief pitcher you can count on. And the first one is El Pupo, Antonio Fonseca.
With the extra finger?
Yeah. Uga Thurbina, champion closer. I don't know who's 66. Who's 66? Is that Steve Cishek? Yeah, Steve Cishek.
Oh, sidewinder.
Yep. But then
pitcher.
They put in the middle of it Reniel Pinto. And if you want to talk about a person who's given me a lot of angst in my life, Reniel Pinto, dude, is one of those guys. Oh, Todd Jones.
Can I just tell you, of all the things that the Marlins have done wrong throughout their history, they had a stretch where any closer they signed balled out.
Yep, that's true.
I mean, what is it, like a stretch of 7 or 8 years where they just pick a closer and he was awesome?
I just saw Schmeathen's comment. It's not funny. It's scary. Remember Leo Nunez?
No. Dude, you're the only one that remembers these people.
Remember when we found out that wasn't his name? He was pitching under a false identity.
Juan Carlos Oviedo.
Yeah, dude. He turned to, he's like, well, it turns out he was as Leo Nunez. he was good. But then when we realized he had a fake name, he lost his goods. He was also like 5 years older.
And so, and not only that, when he did go to his real name, everybody said, "Who? The guy that used to be named."
The artist formerly known as Leo Nunez.
Didn't they like end up sending him back home or something?
Hmm?
Didn't they end up sending him back home or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah. It ended up being the whole thing.
And how old was he? Here's the other issue.
Yeah, no, he was older. He was older than what he claimed.
Yeah.
He was older than what he claimed.
Says it. He was 17. Now, apparently 42. The math ain't math in there.
It was really crazy. Name controversy under his Wikipedia. In 2011, the Florida Marlins placed Oviedo on the restricted list without listing a reason. The Associated Press reported that his real name was Juan Carlos Oviedo and that he was a year older than listed, and that he had returned to the Dominican Republic to deal with the issue. The Dominican Central Electoral Commission President Roberto Rosario said that Oviedo signed a sworn statement saying that he used fake identification documents. Crazy. He then was suspended.
For using a fake name.
Yeah, for using a fake name. Then he ended up getting hurt. He had to get Tommy John surgery, and then he went to the Rays.
Wow. So he was still able to play baseball.
Marlins got some controversies, man.
Remember Trevor
Of course.
He was the tiny rocked up closer.
And then when he went, but he really flourished with the Padres.
Yep.
Really flourished with the Padres.
Didn't he have like the all-time record for saves?
I think he
at one
does.
point?
Yeah. Most saves. I think it is Trevor Hoffman. No, Mariano now.
Yeah, he got it, but
Hoffman.
He had it before.
He had it before. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That is Tickle My Fancy. Take a break.
Oh, that was Tickle My Fancy? You just took us off on a baseball tangent?
Sorry.
Wow.
Back after this.
Selfish.
Fancy, not tickled.
motion for me, slow motion for me, moving slow motion for me, slow motion for me.
I like it like that.
Why'd you stop?
Because I don't hear the music.
That's right. Yeah, we gotta take it off so we don't get flagged.
Yeah.
Otherwise the birder gets after us.
She's been really angry recently.
Yeah, she's looking for blood. She's looking to punish.
It's all that coming on time nonsense.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Pearly Gates Punisher.
The Pearly Gates Punisher. That's right. She's looking, Leroy. So just because I've tried to be reasonable with the whole fat shaming thing. She thinks even if you're thinking about fat shaming, you need to be punished.
Hey, thoughts are not actions.
That is true. Words to live by. Thoughts are not actions. Headlines are brought to you by Doral Kia. At Doral Kia, choose from over 500 new Kia miles in inventory at the Sportage, Sorrento, and Telluride. Remember, when it comes to Kia, the great deals are at Doral Kia. Cats win last night, 3-0 over the Blue Jackets. We'll get to some Cat talk coming up in about 10 minutes, and we'll recap it all. The Heat, they're back on the hardwood tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves. 8 o'clock is your tip-off from the Kaseya Center. Pre-Heat with Alejandro Solana, who's back tonight, is at 6:45 on 560 WQAM. No Khalil Ware tonight. He's going to miss his second straight game with a knee injury. Awaiting updates on Andrew Wiggins and Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Tyler Hero. It appears that Terry Rozier has deactivated his Instagram account after his national stinker.
If I may.
Hope you're happy, Tobin.
He's deactivated a lot of stuff lately.
Jeez.
We need a little more activation in his life.
Well, how we don't know. Maybe maybe there's other reasons that he didn't want Instagram. Maybe he thought the reels were too fire and he needed to focus, Marcos. You don't know that it was about harassment.
You're saying he's trying to cut out distractions.
Exactly, dude. He's trying to be like LeBron, 0 dark 30,
I would rather the distractions to not involve basketball.
Yeah, I don't think it's 0 dark 30, dude. I think it's 0-4-30 based off how he's playing recently.
It's not been good. He's not been good. We got to.
That being said, in that sport, I always think that you can shoot your way out of it. Bam did it. Bam was terrible early in the year.
He did shoot out of it.
And so I always leave that glimmer of hope that this could happen with Terry. But I have questions when he comes up short on a lot of jump shots.
But the problem is Leroy is if Terry ain't scoring, what's he doing? Bam is at least going to provide you with elite defense, rebounding, facilitating.
Yeah.
He's going to work through it, and he can also do positive things on the court. You knew you could even look in the Heat's ratings defensively, when he was on, when he was off, and there's a palpable impact he can make. If Terry Rozier doesn't score, what does he do for you?
Turn the ball over.
Oh, my God. Some Dolphins news. Tom Pelissero from NFL Network has given us the number on Bradley Chubb's restructuring, and it has created $16.3 million in cap space for the Dolphins, according to Barry Jackson. That puts them at $27 million as of right now.
Under the cap?
Yeah, in space, yes.
Okay, so
and they have some more levers they could pull for restructurings as well.
So are they doing this to go get a big time player?
I don't
know.
know.
Are they doing it to re-sign their guys?
Draft class, right?
Well, the draft, I think that money counts differently.
I don't think it does.
Well, because the draft has a cap on it too.
I mean, they could probably do a huge one with Tua if they did it right, but it's gonna put more of a commitment on him to make sure. There's going to be a.
Well, I would say you do it as needed. Don't do it just to do it. Mm-hmm. Don't do it just to have space. If you have a plan with what to do with that freedom, then you make those decisions. You see what I mean? So as far as doing it with Bradley Chubb, well, that's a different situation. That's not a restructuring. That's a pay cut because he didn't play last year.
Yes.
So from that standpoint, you gotta just figure out what you're gonna do with the money before you start trying to get money.
The Commanders have just released former Pro Bowl defensive tackle Jonathan Allen. So he is now on the block, if that tickles the Dolphins' fancy.
I would much rather the Dolphins go younger.
He's like he's 30.
Yeah, I would like them to go younger, maybe add a veteran or two, but I would like a majority of. Here's what I want. If you want long-term success, you need to have players in place that can play together for those long periods of time. So when I'm talking about, especially on the offensive line, like you can get and add defensive guys and add them and do certain things with that, right? But on the offensive line, one of the biggest things is they have to work together more than any other group. And so you need some continuity, you need some consistency with those guys playing together. If you keep adding veterans and hope that works out, you're not building anything for longer than 2 or 3 years. In fact, you're actually trying to do it right here and now, and it doesn't always work. So I want to see them get some young talent. I don't mind if they add a veteran, right? Somebody who can kind of get everybody on the inside in line. But for the most part, I want to see them commit to it to where you're going to have a core of offensive linemen for the foreseeable future. And that's going to make that offensive unit better.
Keep an eye on it. It's always interesting times.
Mm-hmm.
That's
starting on Monday.
And it really does.
The free agent, non-free agent period starts.
It's going to be one of those things too, where it's like it's going to be interesting to see how Chris Grier attempts this, because this is like, I don't want to say it's his last stand, but it feels like, hey, you need to. This is a big round coming up for you to get this thing right.
Can I now? Would the Dolphins have been better off if they were just healthy?
With Tua?
Just in general. Like I'm asking this because I'm asking the same question because
the thing is,
the Heat remind me of this. Like, it's hard to determine how good they are when they've had to make so many adjustments during the course of the season.
Do I think they would have made
health? If I just gave them health, would they be better because they would be able to have some more continuity?
I think that they would have made the playoffs if they had Tua the whole time. I think that they would have, instead of fighting their way the entire way, and it was kind of still alive there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But there still just felt like every time you needed the Dolphins to have a performance against a decent team,
they didn't. Right.
They pooped the bed, and Tua was a part of some of those.
Yep.
It's not like he was gone for all of them.
Correct.
So while I do think that, they probably would have, do I think they lose the Colts game? Do I think that they lose the Seahawks game if they have Tua? Probably not. I think they probably win those games. But unfortunately, like you had the games like the Texans game where it was like, oof, all right, that was a bad performance. Green Bay.
I mean, somebody said it perfectly. Tua, Chubb, and Phillips injuries were real.
Yeah.
The O-line sucked and was neglected horribly by Grier.
And Austin Jackson too. They had big injuries. I get you. But but the thing is, I think that's part of the flaw is these are all guys who have injury pasts.
That's the other thing.
That's the thing. Like, it's like, oh, if you're going to tell me who are the most likely guys to get hurt, you probably just named all of them.
Right. So that has to go into consideration also about how you build the team in the future. That, like, it's easy to, one of the reasons why those guys were so available was for that reason exactly. So,
But yeah, if I'm like looking back and I'm like, all right, if they had Tua, just say Tua, Seattle, Tennessee, and Indy.
You
Like,
lost to some teams that were really bad.
yeah.
And had no quarterback play whatsoever. Yeah.
Those are the games I look at and I'm like, that probably swung the season for the Dolphins.
Got it.
But when you saw them on the field with teams that looked like they were for real,
right?
Not so great. I think other than LA, who definitely came on at the end of the season. So that's probably, if you look back at last year, that's probably their best win. That's probably their best win.
I got you, and I could agree with that. And that was in hindsight, because we didn't say that at the time.
No, LA kind of came on strong.
Right. But if I give you one thing for the Dolphins, if I said you fix this one thing and you're a lot better than you were last year, what would that be?
O-line.
Yeah.
For sure. O-line, for sure.
I agree. I mean,
give me two reliable fatties in the middle. And that's not fat shaming. That's fat praising.
Reliable. Yeah,
that's fat praising. That's fat praising.
Fat praising.
I would also say
hashtag that.
You also need a more reliable run game. But I don't know if those two work hand in hand. So
yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
And the run game really fell off after Austin Jackson got hurt.
Which is crazy because we criticized him early on.
Take a break. Cats, fists were flying, pucks were flying. And we got a surprise at cat practice just now. A legend on the ice. Back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Oh, hello.
Jennifer. I was just listening. I was just listening to the Stephen A. Comments.
His rebuttal.
Yeah, I mean he started off by saying everything that I said. Is that LeBron didn't come up to me as a great basketball player. He came up to me as a parent.
Yep.
And so he has nothing, and he went on for a while. Now I'm not done listening to it, but when he goes, now here's my side of it.
Stephen A. Smith wasn't concise with his words. Shocking.
Yeah. Well, lucky for you guys. If you stick around for
one of the things that really bothers me about just people in general.
Yep. What?
They'll say something, get a reaction, and then make the comment, if he wanted to talk to me, he could have called. Or
right.
And you want that person to then be courteous towards you when the whole reason why they're confronting you is because you haven't been that way towards them or their family.
Also, he did speak to him privately. Like he didn't do it in front of cameras. Obviously, there are going to be cameras, but it's not like LeBron James, went up to the set of First Take or went and crashed his SportsCenter hit. Like,
correct.
He was courtside. LeBron was on the court. He saw an opportunity. He goes, all right, time to talk.
Right.
Stephen A. Smith tweeted out, I didn't want to have to address this. I wouldn't have either. Now that it has gone viral, I have no choice. First Take, first at 10 a.m., then the Stephen A. Smith Show on YouTube. Some things have to be said. Kevin Love has responded on Twitter.
Oh, boy. And K-Love him some LeBron.
Kevin Love tweets out, you have no choice, ? LOL.
Right.
Because it went viral, ? LOL. You didn't want to have to, ? LOL. You wouldn't have? LOL. I don't think Kevin Love's buying what Stephen A's selling.
I don't think come on. He's a wordsmith. He enjoys talking. You think that if LeBron hadn't confronted him, that would have been the end of it?
Well, I think the interesting thing about it, and people just mentioned this because Stephen A just signed a new deal with ESPN, 5 years, $100 million. And somebody had said, LeBron kind of actually probably did while I understand LeBron has to go up to him, he probably did the exact thing that Stephen A. Smith wanted to, because now he's got this for who knows how much content,
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to Cat Talk here, brought to us by our friends over at Hollywood Kia. At Hollywood Kia, the #1 Kia dealer in all of Florida. Get the star treatment. We want to see you in a Hollywood Kia. Visit them online at hollywoodkia.com. Panthers win last night, 3-0 over the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're on the practice ice right now. But as we talked to with Billy Lindsay yesterday, they have changed the practice schedule of one Sergei Bobrovsky.
Mm-hmm.
Ergo, guess who's filling in on one of the goals today at practice? Roberto Luongo.
Whoa!
Knew it.
Roberto Bobby Lou is out on the ice from George Richards' Twitter account.
Wow.
That's cool.
Oh my God.
Didn't he do that at a beer league last year?
Yes. He just went in and suited up.
Hockey, man.
45 years old.
Oh, yeah. And he walks
I
like a
might
sheriff.
still be playing.
He might. I don't know, dude.
Dude.
I don't know. I'm definitely thinking it. My thought is Bob's coming back for one. Like, he's coming after next year. I feel like he's coming back for one fatty. Like, what if the Cats are like in a dynasty? He's gonna leave? I don't know.
No way. I mean, Paul Maurice said the other day that he's playing in the prime of his career right now. That he's old, but he's playing in the prime of his career.
He doesn't look. Yeah, he's just he obviously does a lot of things for his body to keep in that shape. And look, he had that's the second shutout in 3 games. Like,
yep.
he's been killing it. Now, a very low action game for him yesterday.
Oh my goodness. No shots.
I mean, they snuffed out the Blue Jackets like it was nothing. Very impressive. And this Paul Maurice, he appears to be smitten with Seth Jones. He's like, yeah, now our defense is good.
I gotta tell you, like, if you have the name Columbus, I'm very excited you got the donut.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I can understand that. That is
part of my DNA.
I gotta be honest with you. I see people with Ohio State gear, and I'm like, ugh. Like I saw a guy yesterday at my son's flag football practice wearing Buckeyes gear. I was like, ugh. And the other thing is, it's the teams in the league. They're all named after colleges, and there is an Ohio State and a Notre Dame. I'm like, we dodged a bullet.
Hey, but what's crazy about that is they're all wearing their Ohio State stuff while forgetting they wanted to fire their coach.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Like that's crazy. The two teams who had the fan bases that wanted to fire their coach in the middle of the season, or with Ohio State right after the Michigan game, wanted to fire him. They won championships. And now this fan base is acting like always wanted him. No, you didn't.
Dude, I wasn't happy with Paul Maurice, and I was
Yeah.
I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed. I love Paul Maurice.
Because you had zero patience? You wanted him to turn it around in 12 seconds? Yeah.
Turn it around. I mean, it was a year. It started off slow, baby. I didn't know.
How did you think it was going to start? Like, they were just going to pick up all the changes he wanted to make? If it didn't start off slow, that means they were playing the same type of hockey they were playing the years previous to that.
I didn't know Paul Ball was going to take that long. My bad, baby. It's all good. Water under the bridge.
But here's the kicker. You want to fight me for asking you a hockey question?
Yeah.
While sitting here explaining, I didn't know hockey was going to take this long to get right.
Yeah, which is why I don't understand why you would ask me so many questions. You make my own point for me. You're boxed in.
I'm not. Wait a minute. No.
Boxed in.
You've been boxed in.
I can tell by the smiles on your two faces. J-Fix trying to hold it, and Marcos does not care. He doesn't care about my feelings. He just chuckles.
Do you want to say something to Tobin after that? Do you want to maybe shame him a little bit?
Wait a minute. What are you doing?
Wow,
You want to fire one off?
She's no good.
Now,
She's
you
no
know
good.
what? You know what her new name is? Eve.
I'll tell you where you'll probably see some
Eve,
shaming.
you're just handing out apples.
I feel like there might be some people wearing too tight golf shirts at Live. You better be careful.
Oh my goodness. I will say this. This is not fat shaming.
Oh my God.
But Adidas, why all your clothes are slim fit? Everybody, like, we're not all built like golfers. Some of us are regular built people that can't get into skinny jeans. Stop making skinny clothes.
Is he saying something nice again? What is he doing?
I'm not fat shaming.
He's not fat shaming.
I'm talking about Adidas.
Waiting on very thin
I'm
ice.
talking about
Leroy Horn. You continue to test me.
I'm not fat shaming. I'm
not
talking
stupid.
about the company that makes nothing but slim fit clothes.
All right. Or just saying,
You don't
like,
have to address them.
I
Wow.
think
Leroy
I
would
hear.
have stayed away from the forbidden fruit until he tried one. Then he would have cleared the tree. I mean, is there anybody that have any faith in me? Like, really?
I just need one public setting with you. That's all I need.
We're gonna get one in 2 weeks.
It's coming.
But tell the people about Live, Leroy.
All right. So now that we talked about it, it's basically a party on the golf course. There's music, DJ sets, epic street food, Scott Punk legend Sublime headlining a concert they have on Saturday. And not only that, you get to see golfers like John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, and more, all major championship winners, by the way. They're playing at Doral April 4th through the 6th. And you know the Blue Monster is big. They're doing it big. Get your tickets at livegolf.com. That's livegolf.com.
Like I'm scared as a dog, but I've got a new song and I want y'all.
Got the whole.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's get to the mixed bag, huh?
Is that from the Idlewild soundtrack?
Senators?
The
No,
Idlewild.
it was made slightly before, but they did throw it on the Idlewild.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing, Tobin.
The mixed bag is intangibles. Mixed bag is brought to you by the Ottawa Senators.
Why?
I don't know. I thought you guys were saying Ottawa.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
I said Idlewild.
Yeah.
You did not say that.
I did.
Ottawa.
Idlewild.
Unfortunately, the Panthers.
I'm sorry, I didn't enunciate. Idlewild. That movie was awesome.
Thank you. That sounds better.
Especially, that's one of the first movies where you got to see the true talents of Andre.
The Giant?
No. Dude.
-1.
See, like.
Do you want to tell him something now?
No, I'm not. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm getting a little hungry.
Oh.
And I might have all of a sudden outburst, but I'm thinking about some catfish right now. So.
You sure you're not thinking about some fat fish?
I'll be thinking that when I get that Pantagonian toothfish.
For Tobin!
When I cook up that Pantagonian toothfish.
What do we got, Marcos?
Toothfish?
We got Stephen A.
Okay.
We lightly touched on it last segment. Going to give you guys an opportunity to hear some of his comments. Of course, as you can imagine, Stephen A is pretty long-winded, so I've cut it into 3 different parts. But if at any point you'd like to stop and address, I understand. Just give me the signal there. This is Stephen A's opening comments that Kevin Love seemed to have an issue with in regards to having to address it. Had no other choice.
SA, there was a moment in the game that we want to address.
That was LeBron James coming up to me, unexpectedly, I might add, to confront me about making sure that I mind what I say about his son. Can't repeat the words because they ain't suited for FCC airwaves. That's what he was doing.
I think they're on FCC airwaves on ESPN.
I thought long and hard about this over the last few hours because I had no intentions, Molly, of talking about this at all.
Yeah.
The reason why is because it was a one-on-one, I wouldn't say a conversation, but it was a one-on-one confrontation. But then I wake up and everybody from ESPN and my agent and everybody else were sending me that this thing had gone viral. And so ultimately it was unavoidable. And that is why I have to discuss it now. That wasn't a basketball player confronting me. That was a parent. That was a father. And I can't sit here and be angry or feel slighted by LeBron James in any way in that regard. By all accounts, he's obviously a wonderful family man and a wonderful father who cares very, very deeply about his son. And based on some of the comments that he had heard, or shall I say, I think he thought he heard, he clearly took exception to some of the things that he heard me say, and he confronted me about it.
Well, if he heard you say them, then how do you claim?
Paul has my number. Maverick Carter, who works under him, has my number. LeBron James knows how to get in contact with me if he wanted to.
He did.
He never called. Had he called and wanted to talk to me, I would have accepted that call. Had he wanted to see me, I would have flown out and I would have seen him and I would have had a conversation man to man.
But that
What
is
a
not
flip-floppery.
what he elected to
Can
do.
we stop this? Can we stop this?
That's the end of the cut. That's the end of the cut.
Okay.
So let me say this. LeBron probably wouldn't have gave him the time of day. However, he was courtside and he walked by him. So then he decided to get what he had to say off his chest. Right? I think one of the biggest, most cowardly moves that people make when they say things about people and then those people get mad is they say, if you had a problem with me, you could have called me. I don't want to talk to you. Why? Why should LeBron give him the time of damn day to call him or anybody? Call him. This all happened because he was walking off the court and said, damn, Stephen A's there. I'm going to go let him have it. That's it.
If he wanted to call me, he could have.
Right.
I would have flown out there. I would have flown out there.
Wait, think about this. If you were ever pissed off at somebody because of something they did or said, why would you give them the satisfaction of trying to call them and straighten it out?
Here is him talking about what, Marcos? What's this next cut on?
What he would have said to LeBron, because he said it wasn't.
Would have. He was there.
Oh, no. It wasn't a conversation, according to Stephen A. It was a confrontation.
Yeah, he was trying to humble brag that LeBron had his phone number.
LeBron's got my number.
The bigger
just threw
humble,
it out there like
the bigger
how to
humble
contact
brag
me.
would have been if he had called.
Pretty sure LeBron James plays for a team with a media department. I'm pretty sure it's easy to get Stephen A. Smith's contact information. If he wanted to, I think he went the most efficient route for him. What does Stephen A. say he would have said to LeBron James in the event that he was in front of LeBron James?
What I would have said if we were in a different environment, because I was not going to engage in a confrontation at that particular moment in that setting. But if we had that conversation, I would have said to LeBron James, I never would speak negatively about your son. I was talking about you, meaning you, LeBron James.
That would have went over well.
I have nothing but the best wishes for Bronny James.
Oh my goodness.
I wish him nothing
What
but
are
the
we
best. I hope
doing?
that he flourishes into an NBA star. Usually in other sports, we see all-stars, and on occasion, we'll see their children become stars as well. That doesn't really happen with the NBA. I sincerely hope he's the exception. By all accounts, he's a wonderful kid. And I don't know anybody who roots against him, and it certainly isn't me. But in the same breath, at the time that we were talking about him, he was percolating to such a degree that the Bronny James stories had gone viral. And so we had to talk about it. And when I said the things that I said, I wasn't talking about Bronny James because my attitude is he's a rookie. It's going to take some time for him to get himself together. He'll be just fine, especially with J.J. Redick and the staff coaching him. I was talking about the position that he was put in by his dad, because LeBron James has been on the record, and he has said, and I'll read the quote here. There was a quote that he gave in February of 2024. The work and results will ultimately do talking, no matter what the size. If y'all don't know, he doesn't care what mock drafts say. He just works, earned, not given, etc.
All right, Marcos. I got to be honest with you. I'm tapping out on this. And second of all, no, you wouldn't have said this to him because he would have been bored to death. Oh, my God. If you would think that's not how you would talk to me, that's what you would have said?
Also, how do you feel about him mentioning the coach? You know,
Who, JJ? Listen, hey, you know, old Tobes, props where props is due to JJ Redick. I mean, it only took him getting Luka Doncic. What a marvel!
Hey,
what a coach!
You know that somewhere else in this country, somebody is saying the same exact thing about Spo.
Oh, are they really? You mean a man who's got credentials
I'm just
and has
saying.
all the? You mean Eric Spoelstra, who had to coach Jamario Moon in his first year? And this guy,
he won a championship, but he had to get LeBron and Bosh.
That's fine, but he's also been back to the finals where his best scorer was Goran Dragic. Like, Like
again,
look,
I'm just saying.
Props to JJ Redick. Hold on. Props to JJ Redick. But the turnaround happened after one of the biggest fleeces in the history of basketball.
Tobin is jambalaya. movie.
Fleece.
That's a. What are you doing?
What? I'm just.
You can't laugh at that. You can't laugh at that.
Leroy.
No, that's just naming a delicious.
Do you see what I mean here? You're letting him off.
Wait a minute.
Is it?
Jambalaya is a dish.
Okay, dude.
It has nothing to do with fat or skinny.
The thin don't eat jambalaya.
What?
The thin don't eat jambalaya.
Jambalaya is delicious.
That wasn't my statement, was it?
Mm-hmm. All right.
How many yoga moms you go see have jambalaya?
How many?
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Give us a non-Stephen A. Smith one. You got anything else, Marcos? Tired of his yammering.
Not a problem, my friend. Let's go to someone else who's tired of all the yammering. By the way, I'm getting the J-Fig treatment by these lights. I don't understand why they're doing this.
You are looking very.
Can you tell me what's going on? That just turned on out of nowhere. I want to know what's going on.
Turned it off. I don't understand what's going on.
Don't let it distract you. Try and do the radio show.
All you need now is the music.
That's the pearly gates. You see how I came up when you were talking about things on thin ice?
Mm-hmm. I just want to look good for Chael. But anyway, as we move on to the mixed bag, Charles Barkley says MJ versus LeBron is stupid, and it's all ESPN talk.
They talk about the same stuff every single day. I would have to, but you know, there's
is there some credit? Is there some credit to be handed out here?
Yes. But don't say basketball's only watching now. First of all, between that and this lame ass LeBron Michael Jordan debate, which is lame. I've said for years, the only people talk about LeBron and Michael is people on television who got no talent to talk about anything else. I've been saying that for years. I ain't hanging on to the 90s. I've always said LeBron's great, Michael's great. But y'all talk about it all the time and then got LeBron out there posing, talking about he all mad about being the face of the league. But it makes me mad. The Oklahoma City and the Cleveland Cavaliers are the two best stories in the NBA this year. Congratulations to the Lakers and the Warriors. They've had 2 good weeks. The Cavs and OKC have had 6 great months. Okay. Tell us how you really feel. All right. Yeah, Shaq. Tell us how you feel.
All right.
Man.
In the video, Shaq gave the perfect reaction, just laughing. His head was on the table.
He has a point. But what you have to understand is this: anytime people like Skip Bayless need some clickbait, who does he go to? He don't talk about OKC. He don't talk about the Cavs.
I don't think he's talking about Stephen A. I don't think he's talking about Skip. I think he's talking about Stephen A.
Yeah, but the last thing I saw out of Skip was if LeBron had learned how to shoot a 3-pointer earlier in his career, without fully acknowledging that the game has changed to 3-pointers. But he could be talking about Stephen A.
No, he was talking about Stephen. I mean, Skip Bayless hasn't been on television for a year.
Steve, I think it. The thing that bothers me is when everybody thinks they need a hot topic, they talk about LeBron, right? And Barkley is right from this standpoint. What OKC and Cleveland are doing are unbelievable, and we barely talk about that.
I've talked about it.
We talk about the Warriors.
Broke my heart twice in the last 2 weeks.
We talk about the Lakers, right? And so I could see where the people that deserve the stories, but they have determined that story isn't good enough. It's not juicy enough. What would be juicier? Warriors back, Lakers back. Although the Lakers have been in what, fourth place or third place for most of the year.
They haven't been that high. Their surges happened pretty recently.
No, they've had a surge, but they've been in
Not fourth. Most of the time, most of the top four has been, for the most part of the season, had been OKC, Memphis, Houston, Denver.
Houston has fallen off.
Yeah.
Not Houston. I'm sorry, Memphis. They've been
And now
strong.
they lost Triple J.
Yep.
Take a break here on the show. Get you caught up with your headlines, including Bam's thoughts on Ant-Man in the building tonight. Back after this.
WQ.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Let's get to our headlines, which are brought to you by Doral Kia. At Doral Kia, choose from over 500 new Kia miles in inventory, the Sportage, the Sorento, and the Telluride. Remember, when it comes to Kia, the great deals are at Doral Kia. The Heat, they'll be back on the hardwood tonight, taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves at 8 o'clock, 6:45. You got preheat with Solana. And let's hear a little bit from...
happier that Solana's back? Who's more happier than you?
Not many, dude. Not many. Love you, Heat. I really did have a good time. Tommy Tig is genuinely a great professional. Like, I always feel like I want to up my game around Tommy Tig, and then I just want to see if I can make Jason Jackson laugh with any of my little sayings.
Tommy Tig, you could sit and have a conversation with him for hours.
Yes.
It's crazy.
And then Amy Audibert is also fantastic. I enjoy my time with everybody. It has nothing to do with the people I work with. It is simply, it's not a good place for me to be after a loss. It's just not.
You're not that positive of a fella.
I'm not in a half full mood after losses. That's not me. I'm like, I am all the way at the bottom, and then I fill my cup up. That's how it works.
So basically, you are Mike Inglis.
Yes.
Because
yes,
they'd be up 30, and they'll go on a 5-0 run. Oh boy!
Here we go. They're at it again. Here's Bam.
How do you think he would handle all these?
I don't think he could get. I don't know if Mike could get through a season like this. I don't know if he could. You know, like Jason Jackson's always going to put a smile on your face. Mike Inglis, imagine Mike Inglis after the OKC loss. There's no way. Let me hear from Bam Adebayo on the matchup against Anthony Edwards tonight.
We obviously have to understand that he's on the court. I mean, he's a big factor into why they've won. Obviously, he's one of those guys that can get hot and get it going. But for us, it's just limit on the one shot and then making them all take difficult shots, and we'll live with that.
Bam also thinking that the team is kind of coming together, that the mistakes are becoming fewer and far between. So he's hoping that this can get them on a run ski. Here's Bam.
When we watch film, it's not 10 to 12 things that we're doing wrong. Now it's getting to like one box out, one close out, getting the ball where it's supposed to go, and it's not 11 or 12 things. It's more 3 or 4 where we're in the game and, you know, deciding factor, we make a mistake or something like that. So, you know, we're starting to bring our mistakes down and starting to really figure out how we can win games.
Man.
We can start off by not scoring 18 and a quarter while the other team scores 35.
That would be nice. I would
That's
appreciate
more than one. That's more than one mistake.
Yeah.
Like, he's making it sound like we gave up a bunny at the end of the game to lose by a field goal.
Well, it
That's
sounds
not
like
what's happening.
I think he's trying to say is like there were times that it was, a wave of bad things. Now it's just a few bad things. Maybe we'll get to know bad things.
It all seemed to come at the same time, and you lose a 15-point lead. I'm just like, and I'm trying to think when I played if I was ever aware enough, or was I caught up in the game? So, and what I mean by it is this. Coaches will tell you, just execute each play one at a time, and that will lead to greater things collectively. And I don't know if I ever remember being in a situation and somebody going, guys, we got to be better. This is terrible, right? Because it just seems like when it happens to the Heat, nobody seems aware of what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. It is one of those tough things, and I also think that, for this month, it's been good that Bam's been getting going. Tyler is got a lot on his plate, and I think that has really affected his shooting. He's not been as.
I think Davion has helped Tyler though, because Tyler can then play more off the ball.
Yeah, that's certainly, you would hope that's the case. But, now Tyler's been out. Davion was out of game.
Yep.
So we just haven't even gotten really a look at this.
Right.
The
Again,
pieces.
same situation we've been in for the last couple of years.
Very
like
frustrating.
at the end of the year, this time of year, we're wondering how good would this team be if everybody was healthy? We've had this conversation now for 3 years, 4 years, that it gets to those moments to where you want to know whether your team is a contender or not, and somebody gets hurt and you can't get a good, evaluation of the team.
Panthers shut out the Columbus Blue Jackets last night, 3-0. They're back at it tomorrow against the Sabres at 6:00. You can hear that game on 790 The Tick Cat. So get ready for that. Last home game before a long road trip for them. And then tomorrow night is UFC 313. Alex Pereira defends his title against Magomed Ankalaev. Weigh-ins are official. They're good to go. Pereira, and then Ankalaev has the shades on. That usually means they don't want to see your those dehydrated eyes, Leroy. They don't want you. You got those sunken eyes
from losing too much weight.
Yeah, that's a move. Like, get him out there with the glasses, ladies and gentlemen. But that fight will be going down tomorrow in Las Vegas. We'll talk to the bad guy Chael Sonnen coming up in a little bit this hour about it. Marcos very, very excited, and Leroy is very, very excited to tell you more about Live.
That's
Live.
Live. You know how we like to party in Miami. And we love our golf because this is the perfect place for golf. So the next Live event is coming down here at Trump National Doral, April 4th to the 6th. And there'll be the Giants of the game, of course. John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, and more major championship winners. So you're seeing some of the best golf out there. They have huge DJ sets, epic street food, and ska punk legends Sublime headlining on Saturday. They always put on a concert. All you got to do is grab your tickets at live.com. That's livegolf.com.
WQAM broadcast.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. I'm going to talk to UFC ESPN analyst Chael Sonnen coming up in about 10 minutes. He's going to join us. We'll talk about UFC 313 and get into a little UFC Miami with him as well, which is just a little over a month down the pipe at the Kaseya Center, and all the other happenings in the fight world. As love getting our chance to talk to all the fighters. It's been fun talking to them in the lead up to this event, which is going on. So we got that coming up for you. Miami Heat back on the hardwood tonight, taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yesterday, if you guys missed it, you had big performances. Yet again, the big story in the NBA right now has been the 2 teams out west. They made their trades, and they are rolling right now. The Lakers somehow foisted the Mavericks into getting Luka Doncic into for a guy who never plays basketball, and they've just been unstoppable. Gabe Vincent and his handsome face yesterday, 4 for 4 from downtown. Bastard. And then the Warriors beat the Nets 121-119. Steph Curry had 40 points in that one, including a incredible half-court turnaround logo. I don't know what the hell it was. It was impossible. Somehow he made it look like nothing. It's insane. He's an insane person. And then, of course, Jimmy Butler, he just poured in 25 points, 10 for 10 from the line. And
Steph Curry has ruined basketball. All the 3-point shots. Now everybody wants to shoot the 3. Everybody can't be Steph Curry.
He's so much fun.
He's so much fun. And guess what? He is the only player in the NBA. No complaints. I mean, LeBron has been dealing with.
When you say no complaints, like he has no complaints?
No, like nobody ever. When's the last time you heard somebody say something negative about Steph Curry?
There was some negative stuff with the whole KD era, and I think a lot of it after that was, they went down in the dumps a little bit. Once he won his 4th ring, though, what were you going to say about him? Like, he got his title MVP. Like, that was really his shut everybody up. And then, of course, he had this summer against he was stinking up to join the Olympics, and then the last 2 games he couldn't miss.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, he's never ever taken the heat that LeBron has taken during his career.
No, but also it's like, there was a point nobody thought that was going to work. Like, his ankles didn't work.
Yeah, that was her. I mean, keep in mind, people don't realize how much money Steph Curry could have made. His first extension was $40 million.
Yeah.
Because his ankles didn't work.
That's crazy.
Right.
That's a crazy thing. So that's what's going on out there. The Heat still looking for an injury update on tonight and see where everybody's at. The only guy we know is out for sure is Kalel. He is not going to get go. I don't feel great about that. I mean, big fellow with a Mitchell Robinson not knowing how to walk, just rolling up on his leg like a hedgehog, just like bang. Oh, sorry. It's like, hey, how about you stay on your feet? All right, stop rolling into people's meniscuses.
You do realize he plays the same position as Joel Embiid.
What? Yeah, and you remember what he did to him last year? He frog splashed his ligaments.
Joel Embiid is kind of he got a wide base. He can't stay on his feet either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's
wide base.
No, that was that. He does have a wide base, J-Fig. You got to calm down, all right? Take it easy, Pearly Gates.
See, look. Now, let me ask you a question. Can you be the officer at the pearly gates if you two are making little comments?
What comments am I making?
Just saying.
I'd love to know.
You saying that J-Fig's a sneaky hallway fat shamer?
Yep.
I don't
Wow.
know.
Wow.
Oh, this is
wow.
I think
This
that
is a development.
if I'm at the pearly gates and she's there, I got receipts.
This is crazy.
Where are these receipts coming from?
If you are defending the pearly gates, I should definitely get in because you've done some of the same.
You know,
Let's,
now that I
To know
think
who,
about
because I
it.
don't do that. And two, I'm
You
not
don't
the
do
one who
that.
picks
You
things
just
up
did
for
it 2
less,
seconds
okay?
ago.
What did I do?
You know what you did.
I kind of believe like that sounds a little bit like he's got dirt, J-Fig. I would tread lightly.
I'd love to know. I would love to know.
All right. Take it easy. Take it easy.
I want to see your
You
receipts.
got them big old eyes
don't-
at everybody.
I don't want to see the hobnobbers go at
I
it.
want to see those receipts.
Well, I'm sure they're verbal receipts. Like, what do you want them to film you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Leroy. I guess you know what you got to do next time the hobnobbers are in the building.
I guess.
All right, we're going to get to Chael here in just a second. Before that, let's get to a giveaway here. Buckets and Bets, which is going down to the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. You guys can get VIP packages and tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. But if you guys want to go, pair of tickets right now, caller number 10 to 305-567-0560. Caller 10, 305-567-0560 is going to win a pair of tickets to Buckets and Bets. That's going to go down on March 20th to the 23rd. It's presented by Hard Rock Bet. You guys can check that on out. Get your tickets now. Ticketmaster.com. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. You must be 21 or older and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. The bad guy, Chael Sonnen, scheduled to join us next.
Same great shows, same great games. Plus, you can use the rewind feature and listen to anything you missed. Hurry.
Oh, there we go.
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Very exciting, Leroy. This man right here is an absolute legend. We always love getting a chance to talk fighting with him. Marcos is the most excited. This is his numero uno right here. Marcos, your favorite of all time.
This is my guy. Got a nice intro because last time you just wanted to bring him on. You just wanted to bring him on like he was just some normal guy, you know.
Don't steal his thunder.
So I decided to put together something that is worthy of the bad guy. You ready for this?
Yes.
Chael, the epitome of male, the opposite of frail, the holy grail of holy hell. Is he handsome? The reflection of perfection, the man who gets your attention. He's the man with the biggest arm and the greatest charm. Leroy, I got a question for you. What are you going to do when you know who? How are you going to deal with the man of steel? How are you going to react to Sonnen's attack? Ladies and gentlemen, the bad guy. And then he comes on. He's going to be very happy. I've been practicing that for weeks.
Jay, you got us? Oh, man.
He's probably taken back by my performance.
Maybe he was taken aback by your performance.
I think he's speechless right now.
Yeah, it's strange.
Or he has that little thing that I have on my phone and he didn't slide it over.
Oh, the camera thing.
The camera thing going on. Yeah, we don't hear him. It's a tough thing. Maybe we let's see if we can hook it up on the home because that was beautiful there, Marcos.
Dang, it was like a soliloquy.
You might have to do it again.
I don't mind. I've done it day after day. I don't want to brag or anything, but I've practiced this in the mirror for the past couple weeks. Yeah, what I take the, you know how I take these days off from time to time. I gotta get right.
You don't even take full days anymore. You go, you know, at 1 o'clock, I'm out.
Yeah, I've gotten better. That's why I don't need a full day to practice it anymore, Leroy. Before it would take me the full 4 hours. I've done my best though. You
did do your best. I'm gonna see if we can. We're gonna give him the number. See if we can get him to call in because we're having connection issues there with them. But as we get to it, we got action back tonight. I am excited though for this card this weekend because this Pajeda is an absolute monster. Absolute monster.
We have in the last couple of UFC fights, we've had the underdogs do pretty good. And I always wonder, could it be a style thing? Whereas, like, I get so interested in grappler versus striker.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's ask the man himself. Let's go out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line and hear from Chael Sonnen there. Chael, you got us?
At long last, I heard you needed a good-looking badass, and one has arrived.
It definitely got prettier on this show, Chael. Thanks for giving us some time. We were just asking, like, Anka Live, you think he's got a shot this weekend, Chael? Pajeda feels like he's steamrolling everybody right now.
I do, and I got to back up to that green. I was there for the whole thing. I don't know why you couldn't hear me, but that was beautiful, and I appreciate the quotes. Now, I got some inside scoop, guys. I'm out here in Vegas doing the Ultimate Fighter. So every day I go to something known as the PI, the Performance Institute. Twice this week, Pierre was in there and he was training. And we've heard stories that he's not focused. We've heard stories that he doesn't have his team around him. We've heard stories that he's 30 pounds overweight. I can just tell you from watching him train, none of those things are true. He is the only athlete on this card that sparred 5 full rounds. He did that twice this week, and that was just that I saw. That was pure coincidence, and I just happened to see a total of 10 rounds. This guy is fit. He's in shape. He's a mean son of a bitch. I've got to tell you, I don't always see it when the guy's in the octagon. A guy has more skills in his repertoire, and he shows that more in practice. This guy is nasty. He is not as advertised. This is not just a stand-up fighter. This is a fighter that prefers to stand up. I can tell you he was very good on the ground.
Chael, that's my question. Like, one of the things I love about the UFC is that you have so many different styles, so many different perfections that these guys have. And when they all come together, do you prefer one style over the other, or it's the fighter that is able to expand his game to just not one type of fighting? I think that's the most amazing thing to UFC to me, is that so many different kind of styles of fighters can come in and fight one another.
And see, I see it the same way as you. I find that fascinating. Like, I started as a fan in 1993. Nobody knew anybody. We didn't have weight class championships. There was no money. There was barely TV. But there was the same pursuit, which is to find out of all of the different arts and styles, which one is the most effective. Like, what would happen if a judo guy took on a taekwondo guy? And quite frankly, here we are 30 years later. We still don't have a perfect answer to that question. Right when you think you know everything, a guy like Pereira comes along. Like, this sport has been proven to be dominated by grapplers, and then somebody like Pereira comes along. He was 36 years old when he started this. He became the world champion at 37. He's a double world champion. I'm not sure by 38 he's not going to have a third world championship.
Do you think, Chael, like, you were such a master at getting people's heads, what would you have done to get into his head? Because he feels like he doesn't say anything. You see him on fight week and he goes into action, but there's no reaction to him whatsoever except when he does that damn walkout with the bow and arrow.
Yeah, and he's so tall. Like, I mean, I just say this from a wrestling perspective. The guys that you can really go out and exploit are the taller guys. Kickboxing, that can be effective to have some height too, but the wrestling, it's bad. He's got all these legs. All you got to do is change elevation and go blast him, or at least that's what it looks like. Nobody succeeded in doing that. In fact, guys, to go a step further, I've never seen anybody try. It's not just guys are failing to out-wrestle him. There's nobody that's tried. There's something about his stance. There's something about his movement that shuts wrestlers down. And even when I was watching him in person, I was trying to figure out what that was. I don't quite have it. This guy's got some tricks, and this guy, he's very good. And by the way, when we have always seen wrestlers dominating strikers, there's another element to that, which is the wrestler has always been in better shape. He's the one that could push harder in the fourth and fifth round. Mm-hmm. That's not the case with Pereira. Pereira's got the condition advantage. Pereira has never lost a fourth or fifth round. And Pereira's lost an entire fight before and then knocked the guy out in the fifth round. Like, he does better as the finish line gets closer. And that is a meaningful difference. We've never really seen grappler versus striker where the striker was the better condition. And that's one of the things I'm really looking for when he takes on Ankalaev this weekend. I think it's going to be the deciding factor.
Talking to Chael Sonnen, you guys could see him this week on ESPN's coverage, ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Alex Pereira against Magomed Ankalaev, UFC 313 available for you guys. We got it coming down here soon, Chael. Miami's the next card up, and we were speaking with Paddy the Batty this past week with this fight coming with Michael Chandler. Do you feel like for Paddy the Batty, is this too much of a step up for him, or do you think he's ready for Michael Chandler?
He is ready for Michael Chandler. 1 year ago, I would have laughed about this. I would have dismissed it, and the company never even would have signed it. But it's a very different world. And we've also got a pretty false reception of Paddy. Like, he comes across as this young kid, and, maybe he's a regional draw, and he can help to move the needle a little bit in England. It's not like that. This guy is truly a star in MMA. I've been in rooms when he walks in and then 5 other famous guys walk in. They give the biggest reception to Paddy. And this whole idea that he's a young kid, I mean, this young kid's married with twins, and he happens to be 30 years old. I mean, just the perceptions of him are not true. I have never seen anything that would disqualify my belief that he is a potential world champion. As a matter of fact, I predict he fights for the belt in 2025. He's going to need 2 wins. They're going to have to be the right wins. But Michael Chandler, that's a big name to bring down if he does.
We were curious because, there was some buzz that Topuria was going to be defending his belt here, and then he moves up, and now he's tweeting out that he's got some huge announcement, Chael. You got any scoop on that, or what Topuria's got up his sleeve?
We were just talking about that. Nobody knows. So just to lay this case out for you, he drops the 45-pound belt. He announces he's going up to 55. Now, generally, simultaneously, and I can think of 2 other examples in history where this has happened, simultaneously they will announce that he's fighting for the title. The same day that he announces that he's dropping his belt. That's not what happened. So I can't really imagine Ilia Topuria moving up a weight class as an undefeated world champion, ranked number 2 pound for pound, and not getting a title shot. However, if he's going to get the shot, why wasn't it announced? And so I just think there is a chance that he's going to draw into Arman Sarukian or a Charles Oliveira. I think there's a chance that there will be one fight that he's got to stop off before he goes for Islam. And by the way, a poster for Ilia and Islam is going to do just fine, but it's not as big of a fight as those 2 think it is. a poster with Ilia and Islam after Ilia gets a win at the division, we're talking about a mega. We're talking about what could be the biggest fight of the year if that scenario played out.
There was news this week, Chael, about Dana White now getting into the boxing game. What do you think this means for him?
It's awesome. And you got to understand from a human standpoint, like I was a little kid once and I had a dream and I tried to pursue it. So was Dana. Dana was a little boy one time and he had a dream too. And it wasn't MMA and it wasn't to be a CEO of a billion-dollar company. He wanted in the boxing business. That is what he has always wanted. And that, it's a true passion and a true love. And I just share for you, like on a human level. It's nice to see him. I mean, that guy works pretty damn hard. It's nice to see that the thing that he really wanted, he now has a chance to do. I think that's pretty cool. I think they're going to do great.
Chael, you don't think it's difficult to go into boxing? The way they structure and do things is a little bit different than MMA. And in fact, a lot of guys are kind of doing all these crazy boxing matches to get the big payday. How is he going to transition from MMA to boxing when the way they pay fighters is so different?
Yeah, I'm so curious. I'm so curious what that model's going to be. They've really never had a leader. They never had quite a leader in boxing. So to start with, no, the first day or the first week or the first couple of years, there's going to be some real struggle to find your guys who's loyal, who really wants to be world champion versus who wants to be rich and famous. And there's a fine line right there. But once you identify those guys, the community does kind of gravitate towards them. I'm also curious, is he going to change anything? For example, if he copies the UFC model, then that would mean on each boxing card, we're going to get 5 feature matches with a co-main event and a heavily promoted main event. That would be very different in boxing. And by the way, if he's going to do that, that's a lot of boxing to watch if all those are 12-round contests. So is he going to shorten it? Will the undercard be 5 rounds? Because boxing is actually very fun to watch. It's just the human body's not made to do it for 12 rounds. So guys go out there with this unspoken agreement, let's kill 5 rounds so that we can get through this, and then let's go like hell for the final and sort this out. I mean, you'll hear announcers in boxing covering it from the beginning of time. There's a feeling out process. No, there's not. You would never hear that at the amateurs. You would never hear that at the Olympic Games because it's a reasonable time period. 12 rounds is not reasonable for the human body. So I do think that there's some room to shorten it, to get 4 or 5 big matches on a card, to actually build the sport, build the storylines. I hope that's the direction they're going. I don't have any inside scoop on that. I mean, nothing has been said except for the rumor I'm starting right now that possibly they're going to manipulate the rules. But I hope they do give a good look at that. I mean, they used to do this for 15 rounds. Frankly, it was too much.
Ooh, oh, my goodness. I remember those days.
I don't just mean from a human standpoint. It wasn't fun to watch. Like, we got to get them in and get them out. Get the interview, get the story, get the trailer going, get them in and get them out. Like, that's a show. That's fun. And that's, I think, what he does better than anybody. And I really do hope he brings that to boxing. I hope he considers it.
Leroy, you might have been right. He's not the bad guy anymore. He's too good. He's too lovable now. He's no longer the big heel.
I just one of the things that I always wonder about, Chael, if you make it shorter, say for example, a guy like Floyd Mayweather, he spends the whole fight being a defensive fighter. If you make that fight shorter, does in effect he lose more fights because of the aggressiveness of the other fighter because the fight is shorter?
Sure. Or does he change his style? I mean, typically, we see this in MMA with some rule changes. We've seen this in the amateurs of boxing with some rule changes. The same guy wins. The same guy might change his style or change his training, but he can't. And I really believe Floyd could have really focused and condensed that. He actually proved that when he got a silver medal in the Olympic Games, that he only had, 3 rounds out there, but he found a way to beat those guys. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't as defensive. He was a little more aggressive. He understood it was a point system. He understood I need to touch you more than you touch me. I think that they can adapt. One thing that Jake Paul did, and people don't really give Jake credit, but one thing that he really did that was nice early in his career, he was doing 6-round fights. Like when he and Mike Tyson fought, that might have been 8 rounds, but you get my point. It was enough. We don't need them out there stumbling around for 12 and 15 rounds and things like this. We need less. We need more action in less time. That's my opinion. I don't know if I'm going to get my way, but I'm going to campaign for it, and I'm starting with you guys right now.
I love it. Chael, before we get you out of here, you think Jon Jones Aspinall actually happens?
Yep. And let me tell you something about that. Contrary to popular belief, Jon Jones has not turned that fight down. Contrary to what's being reported, he has never been offered it. He did his thing in the media. They did their thing in the media. But that phone call behind closed doors has never been placed. I believe the moment a date in a venue and a location and training camp can begin, I believe Jon Jones is going to be absolutely a green light. He is not ducking that fight as reported. That's a misunderstanding.
Chael Sonnen, catch him this weekend on ESPN. He's the best. UFC 313, Pereira versus Ankalaev. Thanks for the time, Chael.
Thanks, Chael.
I've had it with you all. Goodbye.
He's leaving us like that. Like he's done.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's how it's gonna go. We
Hey, hey, that's another guy. If we were on Radio Row and we sat him down, it'd be a 30-minute conversation.
Oh, for sure.
With everybody hanging around saying, "Chael, we gotta go." We tend to do that to people, right?
It happens.
We get the look all the time. Hey, your time is up. Wrap it up.
I don't know what to tell you, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah, so I always wonder, like, I don't, and here's the thing. I'm looking at it from the outside looking in and don't really understand. But the thing with Floyd is Floyd became a defensive fighter because of his hand problems.
Yeah.
So while Chael is saying he could or would have fought differently, you look at certain fighters that have hand problems, no, they couldn't. So
it's tough.
They need that extended period of time to show that they are dominating a fight with their style.
I did see on social media though, our boy Keith Thurman he's on the mend. He's trying to come back. I think he's got to fight in Australia.
Coming back from what?
I don't know. Not fighting for a while.
Oh, okay. Not fighting for a while. I thought you said, man, he had an injury or something.
No. He just hasn't fought in a while.
He's only got one loss, right? Is that crazy? That a fighter with only one loss, has gone this long without fighting?
I think he made a lot of money. Like
I did, but still.
I think like he was like on some of these big he was on like some of these big first Fox card, first CBS card. And I think he got paid pretty well.
Right.
So good for him. I mean, he seems and I think he just lives his life. I don't ever see him doing anything. Like I think he's like one of these guys. I think he lives in Central Florida and is making sound effects. That's all.
It is. I tell you what, it is like when we interviewed him, right? When we interviewed him with Pacquiao, I was sold.
Oh, me too.
He got my chili peppers, Marcos. As soon as we left the interview, I'm like, I'm going to get these chili peppers right now.
And then he was down in the first round.
And then, holy smokes.
Been a scramble and a gamble. Okay.
But oh man,
they need him on the fights, dude. He's
they need
so
him
good.
on the fights. So like, here's a couple of guys, and then who's the last guy we had who wasn't very talkative?
Steve Fulton.
Steve Fulton,
who came in with his jorts and Timbs.
Jorts and Timberlands, and he put it on him. I don't know how. I can't understand how he was an underdog in that fight.
It's crazy. Yeah,
it is the craziest thing.
He only lost to Inoue. Who's I mean, he's really destroying everybody right now. Boxing's fun right now. UFC's fun. I like fights.
Yep.
Fights make me happy.
Yep.
Been a scramble and a gamble. Okay.
Oh man.
Should have had Keith Thurman on the call of the fight yesterday with Gadjovich.
Oh my goodness.
Right in the mandible.
I was gonna say, although pretty good calls there.
Great calls by Doug Playtons. Can I hit the second one again? The second one was particularly good. Was that with Olivier? That was beautiful.
Matthew Olivier just threw a hard shot on Tomas Nosek. And yeah, this Blue Jackets team, they don't need too many chances.
Here we go
at center. Jonah Gadjovich.
Number 2 for Gadjovich.
His second one of the night. This time it's Olivier right in the center circle. The old-fashioned way. 2 heavyweights, 2 of the best in the business. When it comes to this sort of thing, they lock horns. Gadjovich has the collar of Olivier's jersey with the left hand, tries to break free with the right hand. Olivier playing some defense, then he comes over the right. A right from Gadjovich lands, then a couple of rights from Olivier. Gadjovich counters right to the mandible of Olivier, and these two continue to throw right hands both directions. Gadjovich and Olivier. This coming right after Olivier threw that hard shot on Tomas Nosek. The battle spilling down to our left inside the Blue Jackets line. One of the best scraps you'll see anytime, anywhere. Gadjovich and Olivier, and eventually the two of them run out of gas, and you see that mutual sign of respect, I think, between the two tough customers there, Gadjovich and
tough customers.
And talk about a full day's work here in period number 1 for Jonah Gadjovich, going head-to-head with first LeBate and now Olivier.
Florida number 12, both 5 minutes each for fighting.
And Olivier's one of the toughest in the business. And Olivier, 10-plus goals, 100-plus penalty minutes.
And a new contract this week.
And he's second in the NHL in hits. And he got a new, 6-year, 8.
And I don't think it's the first fight between them either. I saw a fight from them back when they were on Columbus and San Jose.
Now, if I would have took that same energy and put it on a WWE fight, could you tell the difference?
No.
Like it yeah.
Especially with the bodies hit the floor in the background.
That's a good song.
Especially with nobody's hitting the floor, right? They just tuckered out. Like nobody went down to the ice.
Let them
clear
it out, guys. Let them clear it out. They're gonna get tired.
Nobody went to the ice. They just punched it out. He said, "You tired? You know, I got 2 more. You get 2 more. I get 2. All right, I'm done.
No takedowns.
I'm done
No
too.
takedowns.
All right, no takedowns. Oh,
Gentlemen's agreement. Man.
Periodically you get a haymaker and somebody just gets busted up.
Oof. Drop to the 1 knee.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry technology ruined your interaction with Chael Sonnen and Froggy.
No, that's okay. You got to hear it. That's what matters most.
That's what matters. You touched him.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, I did. And I think that he's going to remember next time he calls Tobin a Leroy. Got that producer boy.
We've had him before, though.
Oh, we had a bunch, but Frog Boy, I think, has charmed him now twice because the last time we had him on, I think you were golfing, and Marcos gave him like this whole speech because he was just like, he was on video the last time, and Frog Boy was just on camera, and he goes, "What's the problem? He doesn't like old Chael. He doesn't have any questions for him." And Marcos just went off into this whole rant, and he was delighted.
Yeah, it's my boy. He's good though. He's good.
He's good. That's a show, everybody. You guys were good, and we appreciate you. We got a full weekend of Heat basketball, Panthers hockey, and who knows what else. Who knows what this crazy world of sports is going to bring us. We'll talk to you guys on Monday.
Keep your hands up, champ. Champ, keep your hands up, champ. Champ, keep your hands up. Hey, don't put them down. Don't put them down, champ. And those later rounds, 7, 8, boom, 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 boom. My eye.
If I don't lube up on a daily basis, I look like Crocodile Dundee.
Some people like to Matthew Kachuk. I like to Matthew What? You're just
out of Miami, man.
Midday